Hopefully everyone had a pleasant couple of hours break as we just wrapped up Intercontinental EU East, week number 2. And if you are watching right now, you're probably ready for EU West, which is just about to begin. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Ketchup, joined by Mustard as always. And you are watching the MK11 Pro competition, which is at this point doing quite well today. We had a really phenomenal tournament showcasing a whole bunch of Greek talent. You know, we had a lot of the Russian players in attendance, and in this top 8 Mustard, it's very much about that kind of, you know, the Italy, the Germany, the UK, and now we get to see some top level competition continued.
Oh, it's EU West. You know, that's the name of the game. This is the third and final top 8 of the day. And I think we're going to be ending on quite the high note. In winner's side, we have players like Video Games Yo, Josh TQ, Conflictus, MK Javier. Loser side, Law Corridor, Aso de Matza, Zoka, and Ladno. So we have 8 players that we're very familiar with. It is a stacked bracket through and through. And a bunch of returning players that were also here in the first week of top 8. For EU West, where we had some players who were already able to secure themselves a tremendous amount of points. Of course, Video Games Yo got first place last time, so looking here to add some more to that to remain that number 1 spot. And all in all, I think it should be a good day of games. I think we're going to get a nice amount of variety. It should be good fun, and I'm excited to see things start.
But I agree as well, and let's all really talk about pro competition and how if you're a competitive Mortal Kombat 11 player, it is all done through PS4 tournaments. That is both the pro competition and the open series. All of it can be found through compete.playstation.com. The competition center pretty much gives you all the information that you need to jump into this online realm of competitive MK11. Open series is weekly tournaments, weekly access to cash prizes, EU and North America, all covered as the regions there with their weekly shows. And then the pro competition, right? What you're watching right now, which is the Liga Latina, the North American League, the Interkontinental, which is what this show today is all about. PS4 tournaments, they really have demonstrated a major amount of support for the Mortal Kombat community, not only this year, but last year as well.
So let's talk a bit about our first match of the day. Those of you that have been watching for, the last couple of weeks, I think almost a month already, it's been quite rapid. You know what to expect. It's pro competition, it's top 8. All of our players played through down to top 8 yesterday in these large brackets. We get a lot of entry for these tournaments for good reason. They're free to enter. They take place all the time. And for us in Europe, it is Intercontinental. And to start things off today in this top 8, we've got Video Games Yo versus Josh TQ. 2 brothers from the UK and 2, I would say, some of the scariest new players. And by new players, I mean these 2 brothers. They came in through MK11 onwards, and they had a lot they wanted to prove, and that they have, as Video Games Yo really burst onto the scene with some success in pro competition last year. He came into the pro competition quite late in the year. His first event wasn't until September with Celtic Throwdown, and Josh TQ unfortunately wasn't old enough to compete last time, but not a problem anymore. And since they've both been able to play in this online realm, 2 players very confident in the online space, we have seen some amazing matches between them. They're very hard for the grind, they really are paying attention every single week. Every day they're putting in some of the most hours of any player in the community, and we do see the results of that in the success they have in tournament. Now today, Josh TQ and Aaron Black.
Well, the Aaron Black is a character that Josh has been quite vocal about, not being a fan of some of those kind of nerfs that the character received going into Ultimate. However, if you are a specialist and very loyal to your favorite character, you're going to try and stick through thick and thin, I think. And that's what Josh TQ has done. Definitely one of the absolute finest Aaron Blacks, even after Ultimate, and highly competitively successful. Last year, definitely, I think, would have been Josh's potential breakout year, I think, in certain tournaments, and has still been able to establish himself in the online world. Video Games Yo, a man that needs no introduction, really. But the Cage versus Aaron Black, this is favorite versus favorite. We know Video Games Yo is the original Shao Kahn main, but his favorite Mortal Kombat character has actually always been Johnny Cage. In his first round, there's the catch. Unbreakable as well. Oh, looking for the lows.
Now,
a lot of Aaron Black players like that one.
But it wasn't something that a lot of Aaron Black players were experimenting with early on, right? That low gunshot, it's very different to the way it was kind of pre-Ultimate. Some Aaron Black players kind of just wrote it off straight away, but as we do go further into this game, I feel like some players really are taking a closer look at some of these specific moves, and that low, you know, the down Peacemaker could definitely be one of them. But Josh TQ, you know, one of the strongest Aaron Blacks out there, one of the only people that has stuck with the character. A lot of Aaron Black players have kind of moved on to other characters doing a similar style. Josh TQ dedicated, and we see a lot of success. And that down Peacemaker against characters that struggle to punish it, very problematic. It is a true low. It is safe on block versus a number of characters. You know, it is technically unsafe on paper, but it has a lot of pushback. He moves himself back while he does it.
Well, let's talk about this matchup that's taking place right now. That's the Josh TQ. Very heavily focused on just that point-blank mix-up game. You have got the low shot, you have got the command grab, the wake-up down one, really challenging that meaty from BGY, who shows a lot of respect on wake-up, and the pushback. They're just looking to stick out that poke. Unfortunately for Josh, a raw jump in is going to take it to the final round of this first game, but we can absolutely expect this to go to a game 5. These two brothers go extremely back and forth pretty much every single time they play each other. But now, the Cage and Aaron Black, not actually a matchup that we are used to seeing with them. They actually play so many different characters. There was a time where VGY was picking Sonya against Josh.
I mean, it's just a sign of two training partners. No, it's a point we've made many times and will continue to do so. They play the game a lot. They are training partners with each other. Of course, both EGL boys. They do play very different characters. Oh, the full. No, whip punish. I actually, yeah, Video Games Yo, definitely expecting that to whip punish. Quite surprised to see Josh recover in time, but again, that down Peacemaker really lets Aaron use those mids, otherwise quite dangerous. Like the forward 3 that normally has the gap in the second hit, the forward 1 that normally doesn't have the same kind of options. But to really cope with these mids, and then if he thinks that VGY is going to come to him, he has the sweep, he has the down 4, these good low profiling options. Oh, big neutral jump! Josh finds it, instant confirms the fatal blow, and that is going to do more than enough damage. Josh TQ getting that first game, but not without trying. That was a close game 1, and I think you're right. I definitely would be surprised if we didn't see a game 5 going here. These are two players that they know each other inside out when it comes to gameplay in this game specifically, and they've gone back and forth in tournament. You know, they have beaten each other many times in tournament. It is not a clear-cut win every single time, especially now.
And I feel like with the way things have gone, you know, Video Games Joe and Josh TQ, some of the absolute hardest grinders in EU and have been for a long time.
I would wager they have more hours in game than like 99% of the player base. They are always grinding.
If I was looking at the two best players in Europe right now for competitive MK11, you could absolutely put up an argument for these two players that you see right here. You know, the UK has always been such a hub of, and this is not arrogant, I'm not even talking about me and Jake, right? I'm just talking about the fact that the UK has always been quite a hub of high-level Mortal Kombat competitively. And in MK11, it's never been more than prominent because there are so many insane
it really
players
is.
for this game.
So it is the story of the UK in NetherRealm. You know, we've never been the biggest scene of players, but we've always had some players that are, you know, very adept at the game, you know, very knowledgeable. And that has only increased more and more through the games, to the point that in MK11, I feel like the UK has more high-level players in it that are like able to compete at the highest level than ever before in the NetherRealm game. And that makes me, as a biased UK fan, very happy to see. Yeah, very happy to see it.
And Josh TQ able to establish his own reputation. He is not just the brother of Video Games Joe, right? He has so many elements of individuality when it comes to his competitive realm here. The Aaron Black being just one of them. His matchup knowledge through the roof. Aaron Black, only one of many characters actually he plays. He does play Sindel in tournament as well. And as this round continues, just laying on that pressure. There's the pushback. And you'll notice it's less about mix-up on that low shot, and it is more about pushback and going back to a distance where clearly Josh gets a big launch and there's no break. No, Video Game Joe is not going to risk that. Even with the throw tech, he takes a bunch of guaranteed damage.
Hello, big damage.
Comeback potential. What's it going to be? All right, launch, finish it. Oh, that's so much damage. Looks for a big duck. Ooh, what are you going to give you, man? That is a is a slide and a half.
No, I love the choice to go for the unsafe mix-up there, because slide, back to slide is the forbidden overhead low. It's so dangerous to do, but Josh finds it, but he's been using the safe Peacemaker so many times that it's the perfect time to let it go. Now Josh, counter hit. Doesn't matter, but there's a BT again! Oh, that's the damage and the acid. Yeah, this is going to do so much. Ah! And the low profile. Yeah, you see the magic.
Yeah, I mean, that stays. It stays. I mean, some of the recovery was changed, but being a low profile, still a thing. Now, can VGY pull off this comeback? Do you believe in it? Do you believe?
I mean, it is Johnny Cage. He's used the shades, but he still has the fatal blow. So he still has that
Josh will
comeback
be so
potential.
content holding these throws.
Oh,
yeah,
there it is.
He could afford to take like 5 throws before he was even in danger in that situation. Even with the, remember, ultimate, a little bit less damage on those grabs, 13% down from 14. However,
but I really do feel like,
right
no, I feel like especially the way that Josh is using the down Peacemaker has seemingly kind of been the missing piece. Where you look at a lot of the discrepancies that Aaron players will have with the character, and a lot of it is our best mids, you know, they're either unsafe or they've got gaps in them or whatever it is. But the down Peacemaker, especially against a character that can't punish it, seems to really patch that problem. Like, it's not super high damage, but it's safety. You get to use those good buttons in a safe fashion to keep yourself at a range, and the range you end up at on block is definitely not bad. Now, Spawn, yeah, I definitely would expect to see some form of change here from VGY. VGY, he plays the board, he's played almost every character in the game at some point, even casually, you know, he's big on the streams, big on the content. In fact, both these players are, but VGY has always been good at playing the board. Now, going to the one, pre-patch variation 2, Charge, which is the launcher, and the Glide. So you get massive damage, more mobility options, but this is the first time I've seen VGY pull out Spawn in this matchup specifically, so quite
I think there is an objective here, and it lies in the variation name, movement. The thing about Video Game Joe is that a lot of us have always believed he has some of, if not, the best wave dash movement in the entire community. Really was, I think, the first player to bring that into the competitive space as consistently as he has, and Spawn's movement is fantastic. Combine that with the long-reaching buttons. Watch out for the whiffs, though. One of his weaknesses, that whiff recovery. Now, push in. Nah, the back one to challenge the gunshot. That's layer 1 here.
Now, no, I wonder if that straight up punishes it. Because I know that down Peacemaker is unsafe on paper, but you need specific things to punish it. I don't know exactly how unsafe it is, but I would imagine, yeah, there is something you can do. At the very least, you get a button that occupies the space. So even if it doesn't punish the Peacemaker, he has to hold that. Standing 3.
Video Game Joe, he does not want to overcommit, though. He's hitting a lot of these buttons, Mustard, but he's not doing the extra hits because he just doesn't want to get whiff punished.
I mean, of course, that's the biggest problem you have to watch out for is Spawn. He has the movement, he has the range, but he doesn't have the recovery. Oh, that could have been a big punish.
In and out.
No commitment.
Oh! Raw drop kick. Another whiff. This is a scary moment. You gotta watch out. Full screen, fatal blow. Aaron Black,
he can't even whiff. Every button he presses, he has to be completely confident, because if he whiffs anything, he's gonna get fatal blowed.
Ooh, even that projectile was mad.
I'm actually quite surprised. Yeah, that was definitely dangerous. Oh, the amp! And the chase down on the backdash. Josh found it. He read specifically the roll, and that is what happened. And that is a perfect way of going into match point. Now, 3-0 to Josh. Definitely not the result I would have expected here. This could be a very impressive way to start.
Looks for some kind of floors block and wake up, gets to down 1, but I think the objective was honestly anything from that point. Looking to dash in, the empty jump down 3 just to try and catch you off guard. You want to try and trip guard me with a high, eat this poke. By the way, as we go to this jump distance, the acid to just put the pressure on. Video Game Joe taking so much free damage. Goes for the tick grab. No punish though, the back 1. That's the thing. VGY does not want to overcommit to these buttons, but if he just did it once, there'd be an opportunity for damage here. Low profile, the back 1. Aaron Black. Oh my god.
Aaron Black, he's still the king of that. The sweep, the down 4. He can go under him. Oh, big punish. Rare footage of Josh not doing anything, but no resources for VGY. Oh, no. That's a punish. This could be huge. Oh, that's a lot of damage too. Amplify it, yes.
Yes, it is.
Now, got a bar here. Josh has the bar. VGY can't break. Has to be careful. And then there's the back 2. Every time he blocks, it's going to be a danger. Dash up throw, but the tech, the crucial tech. What's next? Pipeline.
Another
grab. Oh, and the uppercut off the launcher for guaranteed damage. Now we see the disrespect and we don't see the mercy. Now, Chris, is that disrespect or is that popping off?
I mean,
I feel like it's popping off, but I don't want to be too sure.
Probably going to be popping off. But let's just talk about that match.
I mean, but no, but
And-
well deserved. Let's do exactly that, because that was 3-0 to Josh. This means that in both EU West and EU East, we started the day by week 1's winner being 3-0'd by someone that they played in that same tournament.
All right.
Well,
so
actually, no, it was a different
round,
tournament they played for Russia, but you know, same thing applies. You know, swept at the start of the show. Damn.
So in that final round, I'm pretty sure at least 3 times we saw Aaron Black's low profiling pokes go under, spawns back 1, spawns forward 2. Things that normally aren't very used to getting poked out of. It happened with Aaron Black, you know. So Aaron's pokes, there's changes to recovery, there's changes to frames and all that kind of really nitty gritty stuff. But the core function of being able to go under things clearly still exists, and it has always been and probably forever will be a big part of the character design. Josh DQ playing incredibly well here, being able to 3-0 Video Games Yo, no matter how familiar you are with this player or not. That is no easy task and a hard-earned winner's final spot for one half, you know, of the CGL brothers. I know Dizzy TT is there as well, but he's not related to them, so my point stands. But going into our next matchup, I'm really happy to see Josh play this well. You know, there was no need to dive into it, but it's good that he's back this week and he's able to give it his A game again.
No, I agree.
To win.
I think this is definitely a result that Josh would greatly benefit from. You know, he had some unfortunate situations last time he was on stream, which, you know, definitely stopped him from arguably achieving the points that he otherwise could have got. But you know, he grew from it, and here he is, the immediate next tournament, sitting in the winners finals by taking out his brother VGY, who is the person that sent him to losers in that tournament. So if that isn't just the ultimate redemption in tournament, I don't know what is, as he now awaits the winner of our next match, which is going to be Conflictus versus MK Javier. But before we get that match started, as we get the players in the lobby, let's talk a little bit about the pro competition, because you're watching it right now, you've been watching it, but you might not be too familiar with what it is. So let's talk about that a little bit.
I agree. Interkontinental Kombat, North American League, and Liga Latina, and they all have their sub-regions included. So depending on where you come from, you have your own league to take part in. There is that total prize pot, which is split between the regions. The top 8 will advance to their regional finals for Intercontinental and Liga Latina, and then North American League, you can see it's top 16, and they all have their own individual finals as well. So if you're a fan of competitive Mortal Kombat and you play this game and you want to get involved, it is, again, compete.playstation.com. It is not only that, but hang on a minute. Wait. So we've gone straight into this next matchup. And it looks like Javier, known as a Scorpion player, by the way, is going in with a Spawn. But I'm curious, actually, what is the variation? So charging Hell Spawn, that's going to be part 1 of this. Is it the Air Letha Glide as well for Javier, or what's the extra utility going to be?
That is always the question. That is always a question, because we know, as far as we can see for Spawn in tournaments, the charge is like 4 for a lot of Spawn players. You know, that's the most important. You can see no second bar. But the big thing is Javier.
There it is.
Scorpion. Oh, okay. So this is actually a very interesting variation for Spawn. So you have the charge, but instead of the restand, you're going to have the chain for safety. Now this does considerably cut your damage, because the restand is where a lot of the damage will come from. But you still get a much higher than average damage with a safe option if you want it, right there. So this is actually quite an interesting variation. It's much more of a... Ooh, that was actually huge. This is less of an all-in on damage and a bit of everything, right? A bit of a jack of all trades. You got a safety, you take a big hit to your damage, but not in a way that makes you not hurt. Like, you're still doing it.
I was about to question why Javier was ending the combos after launch with like the 2-4 or the 2-hit string on its own. That's why, because the restand, normally what you would end it with, doesn't exist, and you probably don't want to get punished for breakaway.
Now, Conflictus, we have to talk about Conflictus. He has been a day 1 Sub-Zero main, really not afraid to go for that high mix-up, high reward, high risk style, right? A lot of overhead, I mean, right there, right, just overhead slide dedication. Conflictus, not afraid to go for it and really build that game around, as we saw him in week 1 doing the same thing. And I actually expected to see a little bit of a same kind of very high speed, high mix-up match, because Javier, not normally known for mix-up characters, but definitely very fast, right? The kind of quintessential Reborn Scorpion style. But bringing the Spawn out today, very different for him. And of course, that
An
variation name,
online
Bob Brady,
monster.
the Sub-Zero Godfather, the Sub-Father.
But I feel like that's just the way it is. A lot of Sub-Zero players in more modern Mortal Kombat games always pay tribute to the original. But it looks like we now go in. The slide. Oh, that's one of those accidental breakaways right there.
Oh, there it is.
I want to break that.
Now, this is actually an element to fighting. There's actually an element to playing against Spawn that I feel like Sub could have issues with. Where
Oh, you're dead. No, never mind.
Oh, he should have been. He should have been, but no, a big drop. I actually don't know what Javier was going for.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he still could have killed. I mean, we don't have that Fatal Phantasm. We don't have the bar for the second launch, but surely something. Unfortunately, there's a drop. Javier, will he live to regret this decision, or is it going to be out of it here?
Hit my fatal
One
blow.
away.
As long as there's bar. Oh, but he used it. No, he used the side KB, and there it is. It's the down one into itself. Turned it into chain. That would have plowed through last breath. I think, no, down one on a hit would have guaranteed down one on block, which would have been the first hit, and then 2 hits to the G. Yeah, that would have killed. That would have killed. The second that first down one connected, it was over. But here's an element of matchup that you're going to struggle with, though, if you're Sub-Zero. Because if you have... Because we've seen a lot of different kinds of Sub-Zero. I feel like, contrary to popular belief, Sub-Zero is quite a versatile character in this game. You know, with the abilities he can equip and his moves, fundamentally, yes, he's high. He can be played high mix-up, high risk, high reward. But with that style does come high punishment, right? High reward does not come without high risk. Against Spawn, who punishes you for like a minimum 350 for a bar, that's a risk you have to calculate. You cannot just throw yourself at him to try and go for the overhead low game. Because you can try it, and if it works, sure, but if it doesn't, and you're against someone that is really confident in that defense, and they're playing Spawn, and they're punishing you with that, you have to be careful at some point.
Now, as we can see here, you said that Sub-Zero definitely a versatile character, contrary to popular belief. It's definitely down to players, I think, choosing to just go with the comfort or going with what they think is the most efficient for them. But absolutely, there are different avenues you can go down. But with Spawn, I think actually another one of those where custom Spawn, lovely with punish and the break just to guarantee or make sure you're good to do so. Spawn, a character that has a lot of options, but many. That charging Hell Spawn for the damage alone and then extra utility, often it is that glide. Players still like the one, and I think that Conflictus, he is comfortable blocking that low, really forcing Javier to say, you want to get this mix-up on me, you have to put your life on the line to do it.
Well, I feel like that's not... I feel like that's not the reason he's picked the chain. I feel like he's totally okay to have the chain blocked. You almost want them to block it so you can establish it.
Yeah, I mean, look at the range it pushes you back. On block, look at the range it puts you to. Spawn is still
Exactly.
comfortable from that. Oh, the block again. You look forward to me, mate. Eat the chains. You got my
No, but you also can, like, you'll whiff punish the big boot really well. You'll whiff punish, like, forward twos that aren't quite in range. You just have to watch out for amplified ice. He definitely hasn't been struggling with that so far. And then when you get close enough, you have choice, right? Yeah, you have the fireball for safety off certain buttons. You have the chain for safety off almost everything. No punish.
Wow, going in with the reversal slide from the pushback. You know, you were just talking about how he likely is happy to have it blocked and get pushed back because it puts you in standing 3 range. Speaking of which, expecting you to break. Now, Conflictus, I think what happens there is that you wait for the amp and then you break. You know, you can see a little bit of extra damage just to make sure that you don't get that break when they spend no bar. Such an interesting element of this matchup. The forward 2, Conflictus, you said not afraid to live and die by the mix-up, and right now, living by it. But the punished nature of Spawn, never mind. Meaty grab. It's grab. It's either side. It's forward 2. It's back 3. This is the Sub-Zero that we're familiar with.
I mean, I've always thought, and I know it's a lot of people would that Sub just he does on paper have the best kind of throw game you can want, right? One direction gives Oki, one doesn't. So it makes one grab like more likely to happen than the other one. He's got the one-sided KB and it's on the side that would not give him Oki, so it's like, you know, not the easiest to defend.
Oh my lord!
Of which, the low coming through Conflictus, we can see it, not quite enough to kill. Oh, but Javier walking in.
Oh, good lord! Defrost him just so he could suffer. That is savage. Absolutely.
I
savage.
don't know. No, I don't know what it is with NetherRealm and brutalities that involve a big boot kicking off legs. I feel like that's just something that they really like doing, and I don't get it. Because I shouldn't bring logic into it.
Excuse me.
I can't help it.
But I like it too, and I'm glad that they do it. All of these
Look,
moves.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't get it.
Doesn't shout actually? Doesn't Shao Kahn have one, which is a reference to the Reikyo fatality
yeah.
from MK4? You do his big boot and like your arms and your head is still spinning on the spot. Oh, Reikyo, shout out.
Now, okay, Javier, this is something I was kind of expecting to see eventually. I'm actually quite surprised we didn't see it right from the off, but when I think Javier, I think Scorpion, you know? Oh, but it's Demon Dash. Okay, Teleport Cancel and Demon Dash. Haven't seen Javier play this yet. Now, really has been known as the real online Scorpion specialist, right? Very teleport happy, very reaction focused, very hard read focused at the same time. So you can never quite feel comfortable on defense. Ooh, big jump back, but a slide. Assuming though about Conflictus, he's not afraid to go for the high risk style. Oh, now those optimals will be a lot easier to hit the punish. Full punish, no less.
But this is also going to allow Javier to just be a bit more comfortable in general, because in that last matchup, there really is no getting around the fact that Conflictus was throwing everything and the kitchen sink at him. How many raw slides were just connecting and you know? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, full anti-air. Just a raw teleport anti-air.
Being able to make a choice between damaging forward-facing Ender or side switch as well. The Demon Dash and the Spear.
But now Javier, he can play this full screen game. It's harder to react with a slide against the amplified ice ball, but from full screen, it's not impossible. Question is, can he stay there?
Slides.
He's kind of content to just sit. And oh my god, again, Conflictus. This is what I mean when I say he doesn't shy away from the high risk stuff. Like neutral slides, like they look random, but usually they're done to like check forward movement or to catch certain buttons. But in this quantity, there definitely comes a point that they do look somewhat desperate. Good overhead.
However,
okay, here's the ice ball.
We are going to get more mix-ups. The back three, no confirm on it though. Letting the whole string rock. Down four's not going to get punished though. Teleport able to at least get him out. The block on the overhead again. Knowing a thing or two about that. Speaking of overheads, here comes the back three from Scorpion, and all it can take is.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, he's gonna win the round. He's gonna win the round. I've never seen so many slides, Mustard. I am in awe.
And that's saying something. You've been playing a ton of UMK3.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh no, you definitely see more slides in this game. It's so fast. It's so fast. Ooh, again into the down four.
Oh, commitment
on that. Indeed, punishment.
Oh, big damage though. 350 for that. Oh, but no, didn't quite get the jump in time to punish the wake up, and again, but no bar at least. The Conflictus, you see that down one on hit after getting hit by the teleport too. He does not want to give up this turn, even when he's taking damage.
This slide is clearly making Javier uncomfortable as well. It's putting him in a situation where he is just... You never know. You're always expecting it, and gets the jump in. Another overhead! Committing to it, ride or die.
Another one!
Another one! The mix machine. The never-ending mix. Now let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about this. In that game, Javier, in terms of neutral and everything else, decision-making, all of it, I actually feel like Javier played that better. But Conflictus and the absolute dedication to say, I am close, I will mix. There's no stagger. There's no, not even pressure, really. It is, I am point blank, and I'm going to mix you up. And in the neutral, I'm going to throw out so many slides that you're really uncomfortable. And, I mean, look, 2-1 up in the set. It's working out. But will it get him through the entire set? That's what I'm thinking.
So this is actually an interesting talking point, because I feel like I hear this a lot in various like streams or in tournament, chats and whatnot. I actually agree. I feel like Javier is definitely outplaying Conflictus, but the thing that he is having the hardest problem with, the thing that's the biggest struggle, is the most important thing in the match. You can do everything else better, but if your defense against the most important thing just clearly isn't quite there, then obviously that is going to be enough to swing things around. Because Conflictus, look at it. He is fearless. He will commit, and he will not think twice about it. And he is happy to do that, because you know what? He's in winners top 8. He was in top 8 last time as well, and he's currently up in games. Like, it's a style that works for him. And if you're not, and again, if you're not being able to defend against the neutral slides, if you're not being able to block the constant walk-up overhead or meaty overhead, early reset into overhead, that is your problem, not his. And he will be able to get the round on it. Like right here. Yeah, he committed. He committed. But if that connected, he would have won.
It would have, but we look at these situations where the second Sub-Zero gets that fatal blow, the entire dynamic becomes so much more critical. You don't want to get caught, jump in, stand and fall. Yeah, indeed. But Javier, he's ready for the commitment every single time now. However, counter hit number 2. May as well spend it. May as well spend it while we have an opportunity. There's that down 1, but here comes the uppercut to the chin. Another good catch. The full combo, Javier. Oh, the catch.
Hello.
Oh, 48%. Not used to seeing Scorpion do that.
Oh, the late breakaway from Conflictus, though.
God.
I don't know. Yeah, he was trying. I think at that point, though, you just need to keep yourself alive. Like, even if you lose a ton of life in the process, like, if you don't break away, you die. Just accept it, go for it, Conflictus. That was that 400 net EE for a crushing blow down 2 from Scorpion. It's not every day you see that. That background interactable does 200 damage by itself. So when you add it at the end of a combo, even if it's scaling hard, that's going to add a ton. My goodness. And now we go into game 5. But you know the big difference there, though, we're actually quite appropriate because what we were talking about. I feel like in that game, we saw Javier a lot more willing to just stand block. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, let's
take the overhead low, pick his option, block, and be done with it.
We very much need to go over this style as well. With Conflictus, we absolutely respect this dedication.
I mean, you have to. It clearly works. You have to respect it. It's a valid way of playing.
However, clearly, and I'm not going to speak too soon. Don't want to commentators curse this. It's something that might be able to be downloaded, right? Like if this is another one-sided game for Javier where he's essentially just going to block and punish and wait for the overhead, which is catching him a lot more.
The problem is easier said than done.
Yeah. Oh no, because it's a mix-up. It is. I agree. I agree.
No, so the way it generally boils down to is the overhead can be reacted to, but you cannot react to the overhead and tech throws at the same time. A Sub-Zero player that can sense and get the feel that you are looking for the reaction will throw you, and the throw will deter you from reacting, right? That's the general gist of the gameplay.
But that's now going to be a side switch at the end and a swift match point here for Javier, who, at this point, I think he's actually catching sight that Conflictus probably feeling the pressure a little bit on defense. And there's the reversal grab, catching the...
Actually, was that was a true punish as well on the teleport. Kind of hard.
Full combo. Just goes for the slide, and then no need to spend the crushing blow yet. That's an important resource. However, back to the corner. No break here from Conflictus. Happy to hold the meter, but again, squirming a little bit on defense. There's that down 1. No confirm on the low, letting the whole string rock. Looking for the overhead this time. Javier ready for the punish. And again, no break from Conflictus. Happy to use it instead. Chases it down. And the confirm.
Oh, that was really good. But he can't kill. He wants to go for another reset. Dash up low twice. Oh, and the down 1, and there it is, the creeping ice. Match point in both players. That creeping ice, he's had it the whole set, but Conflictus, he wants the biggest reward. So he's always committing to the ice ball instead. Now we get this. Speaking of commitment.
I was about to say there were less slides in this matchup, but that one a little bit of a different course. And the question is, how expensive was it? Because now, losing it does not overcommit to the forward 2. Would have been a punish with his name on it. Here comes the forward throw. This one, double-digit plus frames on that forward throw. Is that one? Cheeky. Oh, no.
Yep.
The mix continues.
Oh, hello. Another environment used. But that was his only bar of defense. And that's that. No, there's 60 seconds left on the clock, and that's going to take about 40 to come back. Conflictus isn't going to have a breakaway for pretty much the entire rest of the round.
Oh, here's the button press. Ready for the down 1. Right. What's it going to be? Ending it with the corner positioning. The jump in. The overhead again!
Hang on.
The absolute commitment. And he mixed
it. No, he didn't commit! No, he committed that! One time too many. No, one time too many ketchup. One commitment too much. That is truly the most tragic way that could have gone for Conflictus. He got the mix-up. No, he won it. He got the mix-up. That was the one mix-up in this entire set that he didn't commit to. The one mix-up he didn't just feel deep down was going to work. So he didn't confirm it, and he didn't even commit, right? He just was like, I'll do this to establish it, and it is what it is. That was the one time in the whole set he arguably shouldn't have done that. And then he committed to the unsafe one immediately after. And to his credit, it was the overhead, where the one he didn't commit to was the low. So you can kind of see where he was coming from. but it didn't work out.
think that is.
Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
That is some tragic irony, isn't it? The one time he didn't stick to the plan. The one time he didn't stick to the plan, because that was a different matter of, oh, if it's blocked, I get punished and whatever. And that kind of thought doesn't exist because it's clearly, I will dedicate, ride or die. In that instance, you know that after that reset, the thought was, wait, but if he blocks this, I've lost the set. And just that second of self-doubt was all it took to not get
but
he still got it.
And that is a side to the very high risk game plan that you have to take into consideration, right? Because Conflictus, I feel like Conflictus is the #1 Sub-Zero I see that is like the definition of fearless. Just, I will dedicate to the mix up. If it's blocked, so be it. And if it hits, I know I'm gonna maybe start winning the round on this, right? And that's not all he does. Obviously, he's a solid player for sure, and his results are speaking for themselves in that department. But even a player like Conflictus, who is so committed to it, might have that one moment of hesitation, which is all it takes for the set to not go out. And that is exactly what happened there. But in brighter news, we want to give a huge thank you and a shout out, of course, to Astro Gaming for being the official audio partner of the MK11 Pro Competition. They are the official audio partner. All of our caster audio is powered by Astro, and it will be for the entirety of this entire season. You can visit astrogaming.com to find more information on all of their officially licensed PlayStation audio products, which are all available right now. So thank you, Astro. Shouts to Astro. We do appreciate you very much. And Astro have definitely been a big supporter of MK and are continuing to be. So thank you very much, guys. But back to the matter at hand.
Yes, indeed. We have our next round, which, as we go into this next matchup, we're entering losers bracket territory. Yeah, so losers bracket territory, I mean, look, this is where the chips are down. There's no more room for error. If you're out, the tournament's over for you, and it will be two players that are very familiar with each other, playing a lot in the Open Series, historically, Law Corridor and Asadamasa, two players that have actually been able to dominantly win Open Series in the past. Asadamasa having a better record in terms of getting those tournament wins. But Cetrion versus Joker, likely to be that matchup. I don't think we'll ever see Asadamasa not use Cetrion in tournament. But Law Corridor has been playing a whole bunch of different variations. I think recently been really finding the feat with the Kapow and the Super Jump. Law Corridor, since the customs have been introduced here with Ultimate, hasn't looked at Jackie at all. Now he can give his favorite character a super jump. That's pretty much good enough for him, I think. I think he much prefers this character. And Asadamasa,
I don't want to put you on the spot, but Asadamasa has actually played one character in that isn't Cetrion in tournament before, Shang Tsung, who is basically the same archetype anyway. So barely counts. Barely counts.
Round one.
He saw it one time.
Now, okay, so funnily enough about how Law Corridor has been playing Joker, I remember when Ultimate first came out, we would see Law Corridor play Jumping Jester, Super Jump, and the low back gunshot. I remember seeing him say, I would never need to play anything else. I literally don't need other characters or other variations because this does everything I needed to do. But here we are. This is definitely what I feel like is the Sonic Fox variation, which is the Kapow and the Jumping Jester. So you keep the anti-breakaway, you keep the corner potential, the combo potential, but just the fully fledged get a hit with punish, confirm it's a huge damage that you get from Kapow. I like how there's already like multiple forms of Joker that are popping up. This is not a one variation character. Speaking of which,
being able to do confirm though, and the use of Kapow, especially off the cancel game, the ability to get those cancels on deck from Fatal Blow, not having to just commit to that 1-2, which can have a launch on it, yeah, but it's a bit harder to confirm. Whereas, you stick out any kind of mid, and then you get that Kapow into a full combo. We're talking about it though, right as Asadamasa is spending the entire game keeping Law Corridor away. This is the nature of no pun intended, etc. Right? Of the character being able to keep you full screen and just have this plethora of options.
I mean, there really isn't much to be said about this, Cetrion variation. Asadamasa is a player that hasn't been said a billion times. Like Asadamasa, one of the true, most dedicated European players. Has been around for a long time in the NRS community. Very successful in MK11 and a day one Cetrion player. We really Like, his gameplay will speak for itself. There isn't much we need to say as we see him again continue to push this advantage. The roll is punished by the ground pound, and this is where things get dangerous. Avoiding that chip damage. These flawless blocks, however, from Lord Corridor. They were clutch until one didn't work out there. No doubt trying to flawless block that Hell's Wrath. But no, I would love to see Lord Corridor really stick with this variation a bit more, though. Because I feel like as a Joker player, there are some matchups that you do kind of just need Kapow. Like, you need that range, you need that damage. Because there are some characters that, as good as like the super jump is, and you know, things of that type, it's not always going to be essential. And even in this sense, right, you know, the kind of fatal blow cancel game, unlike Johnny Cage, who wants to use the cancel itself to win, Joker just needs to use the cancel to get his fatal blow on cooldown so he gets the terrifying throw game, you know? And in this variation, you can use the cancel on block and obviously get the throw, whatever. But on hit, you turn anything into massive damage, and you're probably still going to have your fatal blow on cooldown and then threaten on Oki with a grab, you know? Like, that will then KB. Now, Lord Corridor, he has been on Twitter quite recently talking about learning other characters, however. And Sub-Zero is one of them. Now, the question is, will he do it in tournament? Because he does still play Jackie. Like, he still plays Joker and Jackie together. Mainly Joker with a side of Jackie. But he has been talking about other characters as well. The question is, are they tournament ready? As it looks like he's considering Jackie again. But does he just go upgraded?
This is kind of the thing. He's hovering over upgraded. There's an opportunity that maybe... No, not Spawn. Definitely not. Definitely not. But this is a different variation. This is that super jump. The low shot. Thinking about it. Oh, okay. We are, in fact, going for a change.
Well, I feel like this is definitely the variation that Lord Corridor is the most comfortable with. It's definitely the one that we've seen him with the most, at the very least. So you have the super jump, you have the the back gun shot, and the jumping jester. The jumping jester, really one of those moves that you kind of have to have a good reason to not use. It's so essential to what Joker can just really do. That corner pressure getting more dangerous, the utility that comes with it. But yeah, one of the few characters that it won't trade favorably with all the time is going to be that Cetrion. Because you'll hit her with it, but then she'll knock you away with a boulder or knock you back with enough hit advantage. We know Aftermaths are very capable of that. Ooh, and those upward boulders are definitely being used to try and stop jumps. Super jump specifically.
But it will open up that dynamic. You go for those up boulders right as a low gunshot happens, you lose the trade, and you get that kind of, roughly almost 20% damage unbreakable just coming out of nowhere. You would think on paper that maybe Lord Corridor has a bit of a better chance in this matchup with this, but he still has to watch out for the fast, instant startup options of some of these ranged moves that Cetrion has. The ground pound, for example, that full screen earthquake. But Lord Corridor, fatal blow is available. This could be it. Cancel. Oh, lets it rock. That's either a feint or that was a missed forward input right there. Not sure what to make of that one. I'm inclined to think that was an execution error.
I feel like that would definitely have been a questionable time to let it go intentionally, so I can only imagine it was a mistake. Which we do see happen every now and then, Execution errors, they do happen in tournament. Not everyone is a robot. Only a few people.
We're all human.
The robots.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just deny it. Now, there's that 1-2-3 game, the pushback. But pushback is not something that Cetrion really worried about. There's that forward 2. Good for Lord Corridor that it connected on block, because that would have been with Punish City every time. Cetrion, she doesn't get heaps of damage outside of crushing blows, but she hits you into the vine confirm. It's about 20% into more setup. Whether it's guaranteed chip from the wind, whether it's sending you full screen into more zoning.
It is one of those eternal talking points, right? Like, the one thing that Cetrion doesn't have on paper is high damage, but at the same time, she kind of does do damage. Like, she doesn't do a lot on paper, but the amount that she hits you, the chip that adds up, the way that you can't really avoid it.
Oh!
There's the grabs. Her throw game so dangerous, her chip damage so scary, and Aso Damata now up 2-0 over Lord Corridor in this loser's bracket.
If he was not going to change away from Joker, then he might now. Like, that was
a much more one-sided game, for sure.
For sure, and it kind of almost looked a little bit like Law has just lost here. Like, he's trying so many different things and he's trying to get in, but Asadamasa and the way that he plays with this plethora of defensive options, you just cannot get in. You cannot get close enough to make an impact here. And Lord Corridor probably thinking about plan B, plan C, plan D, whatever at this point. Because remember, folks, this is loser's bracket. You lose this, you're out. Lord Corridor will have to come back next time. What is this final character going to be
Ooh.
Johnny Cage. Of all characters he could play, though, Johnny Cage being that option. I've never seen Lord Corridor play Johnny Cage before. This would be a first for me.
I do feel like Lord Corridor does have other characters like in the pocket. The question is, are they tournament ready? I did mention this before, but it's one thing to just play a character in the game, but to do so in a tournament when you're down 2-0, because this will now officially mean that Lord Corridor needs to win these next 3 games. He can no longer swap around. And a big thing that we haven't mentioned is Lord Corridor. He is very vocal. He dislikes extreme keep away. He does not enjoy playing against hard keep away, and that is Asodamatsu's specialty. There is no avoiding it. So Lord Corridor is definitely going to be going into this. Now, an interesting thing, though, is this is Rising Star and Throwing Shades, which we're very used to seeing. But instead of the armor break that we typically see, he has that, the low force ball. This is the typical go-to kind of, I don't want to say counter zoning. It's more about just keeping up with good fireballs with a good fireball. And the low fireball, definitely the better option for Johnny Cage.
However, we saw the immediate crushing blow right there. A big launch into chunky damage to push back. Asadamasa will still be comfortable, but it is that arcing projectile. You said competing with projectiles. Those moves like Howl's Wrath, where she goes into the air, she's probably going to still get hit by the arcing force ball. Now, there's the flawless block for the mid. Now, you can't flawless block everything in Tornado, but the mid you generally can. Lovely pickup. And wait a minute.
No, you did,
you
did say. Yeah, you did say you weren't sure if this is a character that Lord Corridor had played much, but we're definitely seeing, with the exception of that miss, we're definitely seeing some crispy execution here. The flawless block into, like, the standing 1 dash cancels, they're not easy with Johnny Cage in this game. Corridor nailing these so far. Gets a round on the board. I think the first round he's got all set as well with Johnny Cageable characters.
There's that whip punish.
Big whip punish.
Who knew Lord Corridor had a Johnny Cage? I'm going to be honest, I've never seen him play it. Oh, God. There's that.
Oh, I love that. No, I love that. That is the way of getting max damage and the side switch. As a matter of that jump kick teleport and a breakaway read. That was really nice. Get out of the corner. Get the screen space again. And look at him just backing off. He does not want anything to do with a close range Johnny Cage. No, sir. I can't say I blame him. Oh, and there's the anti-air, but Fatal Blow is in play. He does have Throwing Shades. He could kill, maybe at this health. And the Fatal Blow coming out again. Dedicates the entire thing. That's going to be a full combo, but no Shades, actually. Really, I just don't think was going to be able to get the kill on that. And wanting to maybe save it for later. Because if you do concede the round, kind of like now, going into round 3 with a crushing blow. No, I do think not using the Shades there was a mistake, though. I feel like the Shades is a comeback mechanic. If you use the Shades and lose the round, so be it. You still have Fatal Blow the next round, but you're not as likely to get Shades and Fatal Blow in the same round if it's round 3. You know what I mean? I do genuinely think that Shades would have been the right choice there. Standing 1 punish, turn it into Shades for much bigger damage, maybe restand, threaten another hit, something. Right
well,
now,
we might be talking about this in a little while, because so far Asadamasa looking really confident in what could be this final round. No whip punish in that back 3, although definitely looking for it. Okay, there's the mid. Oh, he crossed up standing 1. Yeah, indeed. Still hasn't got the life lead, but this is a damn good start.
Dash up, grab, and yep, throws out of the corner, trying to keep it tricky. Now Shades will kill, but so will, actually at 400. Yeah, so will Fatal Blow if he confirms into it.
Asadamasa.
Oh, interrupt.
Probably going to be holding that block button like his life depends on it. He'll be content taking grabs right now. He will block every single low and mid until the grab will kill absorption. The whip punish.
Oh, the raw kick. That was such a good read, but the max range. Oh, no. A max range down 4 into the instant friendship. Asadamasa. Now, that shadow kick from Johnny Cage, right at the end there, right? Lord Corridor, the final one, that was a perfect kick, because not only did it put Asadamasa in the corner, it was done right as Aso was likely to do a fireball, right? Because he didn't have anything, no last breath to go with. He was on Magic Pixel. A projectile was so going to be the one thing. And it was so close to being enough to get the full comeback from Lord Corridor, but it wasn't it. It wasn't it. Asadamasa keeps it together, and with a swift 3-0. My goodness, Asadamasa and Lord Corridor, and VGY and Josh TQ. Out of the sets we've seen, those are not sets that I would have expected to see 3-0s. Like, not at all. Not only because we know they're really strong players, but they've played each other in the tournament many times before, and it rarely is ever a sweep for either of them. So this is a huge surprise today. E West is not messing around today. I don't think so at all.
I mean, I'm always happy to see these kind of different results, things that you're just not expecting. And it's the nature of tournaments. Sometimes it will always come down to how you play on the day. And sometimes you'll just have the game of your life. And it could be the tournament of your life for some players, like Josh GQ, for example, who we'll definitely be seeing a little bit later on. But our next matchup, we're going to have a potential of Sub-Zero versus Cabal, right? We have Zoka, who has been a bit of a mainstay, actually, in online EU tournaments. Haven't seen him a little while, not really around Ultimate time. But Open Series, we would see Zoka a lot with Cabal. But the variations that you don't see all that often, and now Cabal, quite a beast with the custom variations. We've definitely seen that in community tournaments and beyond. And Ladno, as one Ladno, a player that we have actually not seen in a while, but surely you would expect Ladno to play that kind of common right now Sub-Zero variation, because he was Dead of Winter through and through when we last saw him.
I definitely think we'll see exactly that from Ladno. I'd be very surprised otherwise. I think everyone that was playing Dead of Winter before is playing, at the very least, Amplified Iceborne. You know, that's kind of been the real priority to, because that's where a lot of the, you know, that's where a lot of the familiarity comes from. No one was picking Dead of Winter with a cold shoulder, so everything you were doing was because of what the Ice Ball gave you. But as we load into this round, I do want to give you a very quick shout out and thank you to PlayStation for being the presenting partner for the Pro Competition Open Series, all things competitive official MK11. We do have PS4 tournaments to thank for. Pro Competition is presented by PS4 tournaments. You can check out the Open Series as well. These competitions take place every single week and are for all skill levels. You can go to the competition center at compete.playstation.com to find all the information you need to get involved yourselves and start playing in these tournaments as well. And our match is beginning. Lag.
Zoka.
Oh no.
Now I was paying attention to Zoka's variation. There's no air dash, which is a very common Cabal move that a lot of people like to take. But at the same time, we have the dash cancel, we have the low hook grab, we have the hook grab. This is going to be mix into damage. And you can even see the variation name, MKX character. Expect some damage and expect some strong mix-ups up close. I don't know why I struggled to say mix-ups there. I don't even know what I just said. Mix-ups, I think I said. Anyway, Ladno, I think, going in with that much well. Taking the skin that has the black ice, a little bit harder to see on certain stages. I see it. Look, it's right there.
Oh, right. Okay, so Ladno's got Rising Ice. I like that. So Rising Ice and Air Axe. I like that a lot.
Okay, aside from it, mid-screen is actually true 50-50s.
Oh, tricky. And a dash-up grab again. You can tell Zoka really wants to establish this throw game. And I think if you're playing the dash cancel Cabal, you need to make sure that grabs are respected. You know, you have to enforce them. Oh, hello. No pickup. On the jump back. Zoka's doing this a lot. Yeah, wants no part in having to sit there and block against a fatal blow ready Sub-Zero. Now, it's interesting you should mention it, though, because we are seeing Zoka without the air dash, which is definitely kind of... I would definitely say it's been the flavor of the month, Cabal. We've definitely seen it a lot in competitive. It's very different to what Cabal was doing before. It lets him play a very different style. But it is by no means the only Cabal one. Zoka, he was a Cabal specialist with multiple variations before customs were even a thing, right? We actually saw clean cut more than anything else from him in tournaments. So he's definitely not going to be afraid to be a bit more experimental and mix these moves together. Oh, there is the counter hit. Big damage. Yep.
Here we go.
Oh, good setup. Oh, that was so good. That was so good.
Knowing that they're going to come out and block it, the guaranteed jumping into plus frames from the cancel. Zoka bringing forward that Cabal tech always. And this is not surprising for me. Dedicates to it. The low, consistently, and again, another one. That flat 10% in Zoka.
Oh, the combo brutality. Oh, dear. My goodness. I've got to say as well, by the way, it's not relevant to the match, but Zoka's Cabal, every time I see it visually, he's always got some, like, banging new costume on. He's got to have, like, the most impressive cosmetics. That's the word. I don't know why it took me a while to think of that. That I've seen in Cabal. I mean, very impressive.
It kind of looks visually like he's really gone for an MK9 direction. You got the coat, you got the mask.
Yes. And, like, the very vanilla hook swords. I can dig it. I get into that.
Man,
Still,
that
though,
air swear as
my
well, the
goodness.
last minute. And it's like you said, right? I definitely think that, we talk about not seeing the air dash, that air slight gas. It doesn't mean you have to use it. Cabal is a character that has a lot of different varieties that you can take competitively, and dash cancel always been good with Cabal. The low, which granted, I think that's something that Zoka in particular likes. It is an unsafe low. You put your life on the line for 10%, but you condition them. And if you have plus frame,
but look around it.
Grab game.
He now look at the buttons you would do the low hook from. Forward 4 for the mix-up, back 1 for the mix-up. Individual buttons. And in this variation, when you have the dash cancel, individual buttons tend to be cancelled for massive frame advantage. So you have that extra layer on top of what is already the low mix-up. So it does add that extra layer of spice to it that will make it really difficult to deal with. Big neutral jump connecting, and Zoka showing us a bit of a masterclass in Cabal. What a setup. Ooh, that was good knockdown advantage.
Yeah, using
I've got to say, I really like the way Zoka is playing. He doesn't have like just these set combos every time, right? Different enders keeping you on your toes. You never know when he's going to go for some sort of reset.
Mix.
But on the flip side, Lando, I have to say, Lando definitely having a hard time with his combo game. He's getting a lot of rising ice and not a lot of damage from it. He's just not getting the pickups, and the damage being left on the table is substantial.
Zoka looking for a whip punish there, the back one, not quite able to come through. Jumping on the cancels of the 2 buttons too. That general rule of thumb, and by the way, that should be a catch. There should be a full combo and a round win for Lando, and it will be. Now, what I was going to say is, the general rule of Cabal's cancels, if you cancel off a single hit, it tends to be pretty plus. If it's a double hit, it tends to be significantly less plus. But I think that's why when Zoka does like 2 hits into cancel, he's jumping. If you're going to try and challenge or whatever, he's still making it an awkward position.
And that's what it's about. When you give yourself frame advantage, it's not about guaranteeing the same thing every time. It's about just making your opponent feel like they just can't move. Every time they try and press, or every time they make a decision to get out of that advantage, you're just hitting them for it.
And you know that Zoka will have those he's going to have those single hit confirms on lock. If he's hitting those single buttons into dash, it's not random, I promise. Like, on block, he'll cancel it. On hit, you have those extra frames to work with to see that it's landed. You can let the whole thing go. It's a really nice
Oh!
The anti-air down 3, and he knows you're going to try and challenge, so confirm. Whip punish again.
Big whip punish, yeah. Actually, whip punish, we just lead into the low as well. Yeah, just try and keep it safe. Well, not even safe, but trying to keep like, yeah, if I hit, you're dead, and on block, at least it's a mix-up. That would also kill.
Oh, looks for the anti-air again. Down 3, not quite able to land. There's that forward 4 plus frames once more. The grab game's so scary. If you take this Cabal, oh no! Full combo. Side switch. And that's going to be it. The low just
my
ends.
Goodness.
Oh god! Ladno is really struggling with this, looking for the meaty down 1. The mix-up again off that back 1. Tries to wake up 3, and that's a confirm. That's the game.
I think that's it. He's dead.
Finish it. Oh, on a slam. Zoka. This is, I'm going to say, when I last saw Zoka play this game with Cabal, I think it was one of the Open Series, one of the first ones I recall. He was not using this variation. This was not a variation that we saw at all, and he is such a, I think, a champion of showing what Cabal can do if you go a little bit against the grain. And I'm very curious to see the development of this character throughout 2021. I think Cabal is a real winner of Ultimate.
I have always felt that Cabal is one of this game's biggest examples of just quintessential balance. Like he is a very well-designed character. He is very strong, but he's at no point in the game has he been like broken top tier, like he is always reliable. He does a lot of things right. He's a bit of a jack of all trades, but he's not like the best in the game at anything. But that's fine, because his especially now in customs, the options, yes, we're seeing here the low grab, dash cancel, hook grab. Dash cancel and hook grab are very common, but you can go for like one of his 2 restands. You can go for the safe one in the gas blast. You can go for the universal one in the extended hook, right? You have the air dash. Like there are so many choices that Cabal has, the options. You really can like play the Cabal that you want and do well, and Zoka has always been a really good example of that. But in customs, it did take him a little bit of time to get into his stride. Like you said, when we last saw him in customs, I don't think he was even playing this variation.
Whoa! Lovely pickup there from Zoka. Let's not forget Cabal. I think one of the victims of the down one changes, where those down one confirms dash in, definitely affected those combos mid-screen. Doesn't sound like much, but you do have to go for slightly different combos now. Maybe not so much in the corner, but that will be a catch now. Ladno gets the launch. Break at the last minute to try and save his skin. There's that short hop. Was it a flawless block attempt? Who knows? Either way, it's going to be Ladno taking the round. First of which, and signs of life at last from Ladno. I think that Zoka has really been in charge of this whole set.
Now, the question is, will he remain to be? Because that's what happened in the second game. Ladno took a relatively strong first round, but it quickly slipped away again. And will it happen here now? Oh, that was a big read on the KB.
Yes, it was. At a range where you feel safe.
Oh my goodness.
It wrong. Still gets the pickup as well. Those
Yeah, he
combos are
whiffed the standing
significantly
two.
harder.
Yeah, he whiffed the standing 2 in the 2-3 and it's still comboed. I've never seen that. That's match point.
Corner pressure as well, Zoka. And because we've seen he has those confirms on lock, every time he does the overhead off that back one string, I'm pretty sure he's looking where if it lands, he will still get the combo into the dash and it'll cancel a block. We're clearly seeing that in action. Not quite going for anti-cross up there. Didn't trust its reliability as that meaty. There's the confirm again. This time, oh, gets it completely guaranteed. He'll slam it down for the extra damage.
Normally you won't see Cabal players ending in that KB unless they really want the damage, because that is his biggest opener, but you've got this much of a lead. It's not about getting the biggest damage potentially, it's about extending that life lead as much as possible. And the armor break, a good way of doing it in that situation. Zoka tempting fate now. Fate will blow that. Oh no!
He didn't hold it, maybe.
Yeah, he just no, he didn't hold it. He didn't hold the amplify button. That would have KB'd that sword, but he just let it go. He still tried to pick up. Oh, he did the dash.
It is very unusual that he would go for that.
Oh!
The 1-on-1. That's going to be game over right there. Zoka nearly had quite a significant choke right there, but honestly, at the last minute, the fact that he was able to pull it off and showcase that crispy Cabal. Every time I see Zoka in a bracket here, I always get excited. I was a fan after the first time we ever saw him play. He was playing clean cut before Ultimate, and it was some of the cleanest Cabal play that we'd ever seen. And it was a variation that people had kind of stopped playing. And it's like, man, this guy's sick. But it's clearly a fan of the character, a loyalist of Cabal, and the second Customs gets introduced, you have this opportunity to start really going mad scientist mode with experimentation and giving us a good display there. Unfortunate to see Ladno go out, you know, but getting top 8, no easy task. Zoka, a player that I'm keeping my eye on, but has a bit of a tricky matchup next, as I do believe it'll be Zoka and Video Games Yo as the next round of losers. So we'll be seeing that a little bit later. But that's going to be a bit of a challenge, I think, is an understatement.
Well, it's a challenge that he is going to have to rise to. You know, this is for points to get towards the end of the season of pro competition. You know, we are week 2 of 8, so there is plenty of weeks left to come. But the more work you can do now, the less you have to try throughout the season. But that does mean that we are finished for our first round of games. But before we go to our first break of the show, I want to give a huge shout out to the merchandise for the pro competition this season. You can go to amazon.com/Mortal Kombat and find all the goodies that you might want, whether it's like, you know, t-shirts, hoodies, general merchandise. It's all there. You can rep your realm and visit the pro competition merch store. You can go for different regions. They all have their own apparel for, you know, a bunch of different MK11 characters. If you've got a favorite character in the game, there's probably some merchandise of it in some way. And of course, it is a direct way of supporting the pro competition. So if you're a big fan of competitive MK11 and you want to show some support to pro comp, that's a great way of doing it. And I do hope you find some cool stuff to wear as we go into this new year. But that does mean that we are finished with our first round of games. And I say first round because there's plenty more where that came from. But while we get the next matches ready to go, we are going to go to a short break. So thank you very much for tuning in. And we'll see you in a few minutes' time when we will be back with the next matches. We'll see you in a few minutes.
jokes, no gimmicks, just combat.
PlayStation. Looking for attention, I don't need the extra tension, cause I'm in the fourth dimension, trapeze high in suspension. Now don't bother with the haters, cause they all be imitators. We're real life manipulators, get it back up and see you later. I like me for me, I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me, I am who I wanna be. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else. I like me for me, I'ma be what I'ma be. Prove it to myself and nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself. I like me for me.
Hey guys, Ketchup and Mustard here, and it's time to test your might in the Mortal Kombat 11 Open Series. Ready to rumble? Power on your PlayStation and head to the Events app. Filter by type and select a convenient date and time. Boot up MK11 and locate the PS4 Tournaments menu option. Click it to visit a familiar place, the Console Events tab. Sign up and prepare to play. Once registered, you can view your tournament details and check-in time. A notification will remind you to tighten your black belt and get over here for your match. Continue combat in the open qualifiers to close in on the competition. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the tournaments.
PlayStation. Who are you?
I'm your worst nightmare.
Any ring I step into is mine. End of the line.
Then this fight is now personal.
It is exhausting being so perfect.
Hello everyone and welcome back to week 2 of the Pro Competition for the Intercontinental Combat EU West tournament, where we are deep within this bracket. We have started the tournament yesterday and we've gone down to top 8 today, and we've already gotten through our first round of games. My name is of course Mustard, and I'm joined once again by the ever lovely Falcon, and we're going to talk you guys through the next handful of matches. It should be a lot of fun, and I personally am very excited.
Yeah, thank you for that warm introduction, Mustard. Been doing an absolutely great job on the commentary throughout today and all that as well.
Oh, thanks, mate.
And you know, like the matches that we've had so far on the stream have been really good, but I think there's been a lot of unexpected results that we just didn't really see coming. Like Josh 3-0ing VGY, that's not something that happens every time. He's known to be quite, you know, Josh's demon in that sense, and then Javier pulling off a clutch win against Conflictus as well. But the 3-0 against Law Corridor is probably the one that sticks out to me the most. As Law's been a very consistent player over the course of time, he's gotten better and better to a point where he's got this Joker that's almost uncontestable by many people in the scene. So losing 3-0 to Asso just goes to show just how purely defensive and hyper lame that Asso is, you know, like happy to play, that he's able to just pull that off in such a strong fashion, really. But before we can get started in all the games, we just want to give a quick shout out to the presenting partner, PlayStation 4, the PS4 Tournament Open Series. Mortal Kombat 11 Pro competitions presented by PS4 Tournaments. Be sure to check out the Open Series. PS4 tournaments are weekly competitions for all skill levels. Compete against your friends and rivals for unique rewards. You can visit the PlayStation 4 Competition Center, the one destination that is Mortal Kombat content that gives you an inside look at how top players play and tips and tricks for all players of all skill levels. All you have to do is head over to compete.playstation.com, sign in with your PSN, and it is as simple as that. Get signed up, get competing. If you're looking for a breakout performance or looking for somewhere to start when it comes to competitive Mortal Kombat, that would be the way forward.
If you want to get involved, there is no better time than right now. You know, it's free to enter. Everything's online. We're all stuck at home. You're playing MK anyway. What are you doing? Get signed up. Get involved. Your region's probably covered in some way. We'd love to see you play it. But we are now ready to start with our next handful of games, where we are going to be going to the losers bracket first, where we're going to be having Asso de Matza versus Conflictus, and we're going to be going to Zoka versus Video Games Yo. So we definitely have a good couple of games lined up for you. We're going to be starting off with Asso and Conflictus. This is an interesting one because, again, I feel like we say this a lot in this game because I think some characters are quite polarizing in that regard, but you have the extreme offense of Conflictus and then the extreme defense of Asso de Matza. You know, I really feel like this is a perfect example of that. And this is also a matchup that Asso de Matza has been very vocal in the past about. Just doesn't like fighting Sub-Zero, especially the extreme mix-up focus style, which we know Conflictus is bringing to the table. So how do you think this is going to go?
Well, it's a very player-oriented preference thing, right? Like, it's Asso, regardless of how good he is as a player, personally really dislikes fighting against Sub-Zero. And I think Conflictus is a very unorthodox Sub-Zero, someone without much of a care for the risk-reward factor, so to speak. And that could be a very dangerous tool playing against someone like Asso, you know, who's expecting usually people to play in a more of a conventional, like, you know, way that you would expect from a competitive player. But Conflictus really breaking the mold in that sense, like right there, just challenging with a slide. Unafraid to just throw out some risky decisions and just get the maximum mileage out of them if they do work.
I've definitely seen more raw slides from Conflictus than I think any other Sub-Zero player. And there are multiple reasons for it, right? I very rarely feel like it's just being done for the sake of it. I feel like it's the slide is there to occupy space, to check forward movement, all that kind of good stuff. But in this kind of instance, right, it's going to be maybe like the Boulder has the long startup, the Hell's Wrath has to jump first, so maybe he's like trying to catch them before they're active. But I just don't know if that's going to work here. I think Asso de Matza, he's too good at building that space, playing around it, keeping you as far away as possible, despite your options that are coming in. You know, he knows Sub-Zero looking for the big boot, looking for the slide. If he can outspace them both, and with punish or whatever it is, depending on the range, I think it'd be a lot better off. And there it is, the first overhead opener of the day. Immediately turned into a low.
So like Asso is a very, you know, defensive player. He's no slouch as well. So it's things like the risky slides, they're definitely going to get punished 100% of the time. And I think Asso's got them in mind. Like he doesn't want to just let Conflictus play his game, but the block on the forward 2, forcing the breakaway, gets himself out of the corner and able to work with a nice health lead right now. The jump kick OS into the hell trap. And that's all he needs to secure the first game.
No, I actually think Asadamasa played that perfectly. Even down to like the optical punish, turning that punish into, again, the second time we've seen it today, the jump kick teleport. He knows you're going to break, but he doesn't want to go for the armor break. He wants to kind of get the breaker out of you, do a little bit of damage, but then end with a teleport, the meterless teleport at that, to keep some advantage on the side switch. And then turning that into the end of the game as well. I think that was a really smart way of ending that game, and Asadamasa going up 1-0. I feel like this has definitely been a day of sweeps, and unless Conflictus can find, I would definitely say, a safer way to get in, I can see this being a 3-0. I think the raw slides and the very impatient way of getting in, like we're seeing here, I don't see it working against Asso for the entire set.
Yeah, Asso doesn't really seem to need to do anything other than ground pound outside of slide range and, you know, throw boulders full screen, but very sparingly because of the looming threat of the amplified ice ball. He doesn't really need to give Conflictus any mileage. He doesn't need to play his game. Like, he can afford to just do nothing with a health lead and make him approach. And that's what's really scary, because like you said, he's just impatient with his approach. It's the slides, the forward fours. These things are eventually just going to get stuffed and crushed by Asadamasa, unless Conflictus starts to change up the game a little bit more.
Well, there's a reason we're talking about it in regards to like the way in, because you can't really just sit and block against Sub-Zero from point blank, because that's where obviously the overhead low game, the throw mix up, it's very dangerous. But when it's like him just closing the distance and that's where the damage is coming from, that's where it gets dangerous. And there's another reset attempt for Conflictus, going for a lot of resets, which means he is leaving his damage quite low. But I understand why, because if he finishes his combos and ends in slide, or ends in 1-2-4, whatever, ends in amp slide even, he's going to end the combo with you being full screen. And full screen is clearly where he's struggling. So to not end the combo full screen, he has to completely just neuter his damage 100%.
Yeah.
You're going to be like going toe-to-toe with damage, and that's going to be rough.
And right now, Asso is just comfortable to play his game right now. That slide didn't quite work out. Neither player is being able to get a punish on each other. But the Deadly Wind's pushing back to a safer space. That forward throw is going to give him some nice Ilki to work with. But choosing to back off. The forward 2 ice ball, going to clip.
Oh, dash up grab, full screen again. Asso's going to be happy with it.
That was a very risky decision, to be honest. That was I felt like moments away from just getting clipped by the... Oh, using the full string to actually escape and gets the punish.
Oh, what's the mix up? Oh, the mid! Oh, and that is the Cetrion effect. We talk at length about how on paper she doesn't do a lot of damage, but in practicality she kind of does. Look no further than that right there. A hit into Tornado guarantees a down one. So the read is, you know, are they going to walk out of it? They're going to read a throw. They're going to try and tech. If you think they're going to duck because they're reading the throw, boom, mid into Tornado, amplify it for 170, and then like what, 130, 140 hit, turned into a reset for 170. And there you go. You've done higher than average damage for a bar. Job done.
Right now, it seems like Conflictus is really just kind of struggling to lock down Asso. He's trying to keep him in the... I mean, same could be really be said just in general about the Cetrion matchup. You know, you have to work your way in, and you have to work your way in patiently. It's similar to kind of the same thought process you would apply to full auto Jackie in MKX. It's like if you become overwhelmingly frustrated at the amount that she can do when she's far away from you, you start to tunnel vision. But if you approach very cautiously with knowing you know, like how to approach, you can really just walk them down. But Cetrion, on the other hand, you know, she's able to teleport herself out the corner, and I think maybe getting him to teleport and sliding to challenge those teleports could be an option. But Conflictus really just needs to hold him down and make him guess. Like that's pretty much all it comes down to, right?
Well, that's what he's playing. He wants to get that hit. He's going for a ton of resets because he specifically wants that. But here could be a different change. We're actually starting to see a lot more of the creeping ice in this game, which is normally something that Conflictus doesn't tend to go for. I feel like he uses creeping ice like less than any other Sub-Zero player, because I think he'd rather just dedicate and go, you know what, if this hits, boom. If it's blocked, so be it. Which,
yeah.
Oh, hello.
I was curious to see if you could actually get a follow-up on that.
I was half expecting him to try it.
But yeah, so you know, with the resets anyway, that Conflictus has been using. Now I'm curious to know why he's choosing. Oh, and that should be the round right there. Yeah, unscaled into that fatal blow to stand for fatal blow. This should be the round for Conflictus right now. But yeah, in regards to the resets, he's using the standing 4 resets. And I'm curious to know why. Because of the way that he plays, he's very like he commits to the mix. He commits to the unsafe mix. That ending in standing 2 just seems kind of like better for that, because it's plus 22 and it has a very minimal pushback on hit, so you're just guaranteeing like a 50-50 that they're holding afterwards.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to guarantee the overhead low mix-up, but there's cutting your damage, and then there's cutting your damage that much. I feel like he's trying to find the middle ground between going for a reset and not doing so low damage it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's kind of what he's mainly looking for. But he's actually doing well in this game. He's used the fatal blow, but he's still got the life lead here. Decent on bar, decent resources. Acid Matter, no breakaway. And there's another attempt to go in for that overhead. Just really want to get another one. There it is. Now this time he cashed.
I think he's got the.
There's the slide.
Yeah. He has that KB should he need it, but in this much health, I don't think you have to worry about that too much.
Oh, but there's a higher jump. Acid Matter doing Hell's Wrath from higher up now, so he doesn't have to worry about the Ice Ball punish.
I do admire like the reactions to just, you know, see it being charged up and then go for the max height jump right straight over there just to challenge it.
that one could have been dangerous.
So opting to teleport his way in.
Back! He found it! Is that enough? Oh my goodness.
Stand 3.
Yeah, that was the slowest, most drawn out comeback I've seen, but Acid Matter managed to make it work. I've got to say, that was an unfortunate round to let slip for Conflictus. He was in the lead confidently, but not anymore. Now it's match point for Asso. No fatal blow left to use either to bring that comeback potential back. Empty jump throw. Oh dear.
The classic. It's at this point, it's just really difficult when Conflictus is getting clipped by so much. Finds himself a nice chunk of damage right there, though. 342 with that 4-2 slide. He's down on that KB now, but he still has the 124 KB unspent. Still has his down 2 KB, I'm pretty sure.
It's Sub-Zero, man. You think a big damage resource is gone, and there lies another one. you didn't realize. Oh, big wake up jump. But oh, I like it. Yeah, turns it into a reset. Reset again. Not again. Didn't work. Now fatal blows a threat. He can't fire ice balls. Oh, but no! He just goes to the raw spike.
Not enough.
Kill, however. My goodness, that was so dangerous.
He's gonna have to be really careful. If he throws an ice ball at the wrong space, that fatal blow is gonna chew him up.
Now, Amplify will beat fatal blow, but normal won't.
Oh
my goodness, that was
in.
so cheeky, so dangerous. Not enough. Oh, and the ground pound to go underneath. Acid Matter goes for the perfect play at the perfect time. Conflictus. That was the final ice ball he's gonna throw in this tournament.
He had time to unfreeze and still get the friendship. What a Chad.
That's kind of BM.
That was beautiful.
When you really think about it, that's like really rude. Oh, dearie me.
Conflictus, though, yeah, he's gonna get eliminated over here in the losers bracket. But this is the second week that he made it in a winner's side top 8 for the pro comp, the second time, and that level of consistency is already really good. You know, tacking on some points in that leaderboard to hopefully qualify for the regional finals. I'm sure we'll be seeing his name a lot more in the coming future. Asso, though, honestly, big props for the level of composure that it took to make not only the comeback in the round before, but in that final round as well, to play that clutch situation as he did, and not make any careless, you know, mistakes. I should say he made a couple hard reads with the teleports into the throws and stuff, which may have been risky, but ultimately paid off entirely for him and just about snagged away that win.
I mean, Cetrion is not a comeback character. Like, yes, she is certainly top tier. You know, make no mistake, she is an incredible character. She is really strong, really scary. But she doesn't do absolutely everything under all circumstances, right? Bringing almost a full life bar comeback. Got there in the end. With her, it's definitely easier said than done. You know, she does decent damage altogether, but it does require a lot of reads, a lot of situations where it's like, right, I've hit this. What am I going to turn it into? When you're playing around, like, you can't even take a trade against someone like Sub-Zero. Like, it's hard to make that happen. But Asadamasa,
Yeah.
well-composed player. He's very experienced. We saw him recently at the Dragon Temple, which was the one and only reason why Asadamasa wasn't playing in the first week of Pro Competition, was because he was in the Ukraine and wasn't able to play from there, right? Like, he just wasn't there.
Yeah.
But here he is today, coming out in full force. Started today in losers bracket. Doesn't matter, because he's just won both sets today, back-to-back with 3 zeros all the way. So Asadamasa now already in losers semi-final, so top 4 guaranteed. And with any of these kind of like, kind of circuits, these leagues that in this case, you play well. And just a very quick kind of breakdown, the way it works in Pro Competition is you play in 8 tournaments, so there'll be 8 weeks in total. You play for top 8. The better you play in the top 8, the more points you earn. And then at the end of the season, at the end of the 8 weeks, the highest point earning players are invited back for the big final playoffs, and that's where you play for the money. So the more work you can do now and the more points you can secure for yourself now, the less you have to worry and the less you have to stress about it further down the line as the months go on. But today we have 2 players that know a thing or 2 about that, as Video Games Yo, our current first place point earner in EU West, is going to be coming up to the stage once more to play against Zoka, this time losers bracket. So it's all stress, high penalty. If you lose here, you're out of the tournament.
Pretty much, and really, Zoker's the one that's playing for like the crucial points. VGY is really playing for the ability to be comfortably, qualified right now. It's just trying to add on to the 350 points he got from the first week. But Zoker has been absolutely no slouch from that last set that we saw against Ladno earlier on in the top 8. An exceptionally good Cabal player hailing from the Italian scene. And the winner of this, obviously, is going to be playing off against Asadamasa. We'll get around to that after the set, but there's some interesting talking points with that being said.
Well, maybe there's some interesting possibilities. Really going to get an all-Italian loser semi-final, which is a match we've seen before. Zoka and Aso definitely not too strangers to playing each other. But on the flip side, VGY. VGY and Asadamasa, they have played a lot in tournaments as well. VGY has quite a good track record there, so we've definitely got some good matches up and coming, to be sure. A lot of pressure already to VGY. Oh, and there's the immediate counter poke Rising Star. Oh, the commit.
Oh, really committed.
Oh, the big damage, and there it is. VGY keeps it as tricky to break as possible. Not completely unbreakable, but enough to make it quite difficult to deal with at the very least. And a good life bar for VGY.
Yeah, I really agree with his decision-making over there. The breakaway was really, pretty greedy from Zoker, to be honest, in that situation. But right now, VGY is just unrelenting with this corner pressure with Johnny. Using that low hook, gonna push him further out towards the mid-screen, but right now you're still on the defensive. Forced to try and work your way out against Johnny Cage. Not the most comfortable thing to do in the game.
Ooh. Oh, the restand as well? 350 restand, hello. VGY, this monstrous corner pressure. Johnny Cage, one of the scariest corner characters in the game. Where do we go from here?
Alright, got shimmied. Should be a healthy, just under 30% right here. Gonna get the back throw Oki too.
Oh, good hit again. Zoka, not afraid of going for that back one low, but he has to be careful now. That low hook will get him killed if it's blocked now. No, no!
Oh,
and there is the instant recognition. VGY sees that Zoka, with just the smallest fraction of time, mistiming that meaty throw, and an instant punish. No hesitation. 1-0 lead to VGY now. Good whiff punish there.
Just, yeah, very, very clean. Just straight away into the fatal blow. Don't miss about, guarantee yourself the game. This is loser's bracket as well. These very minimal mistakes or, little things like, in terms of little outplays like we saw that whiff punish over there, or maybe just a mistimed throw and stuff. Very crucial when it comes down to these individual games, especially when you're playing for the points and you're playing with, you only the one tournament life, essentially. All the way through until the grand finals, where you would still have to win 2 sets. So right now, VGY has been pretty much the most dominant European player in recent months in Mortal Kombat 11. Ever since, I want to say just before Aftermath, just been ridiculously, unstoppable in many respects. And I feel like going down to his brother, isn't something, it's not the first time this has happened, but because that's happened, it's effectively made everyone else in loser's bracket run that much harder because they have to now deal with VGY.
I mean, VGY is just one of those players that kind of came out of nowhere in MK11. You know, really is not new to fighting games overall, but this is the first fighting game that he's, you know, competed in seriously and really, you know, took this seriously as a competitive game. And we're seeing a lot of results, right? You know, I think it's already.
Oh my goodness!
Oh wow, that was really clean. Kind of debuted at Celtic Throwdown last year, over a year ago, and has just gone from strength to strength. It was definitely a favorite potentially to win the last chance qualifier at Final Kombat last year. Has been playing in a lot of community online tournaments. Of course, you know, sponsored by CGL. They've definitely been looking after him and he's been playing a lot on that grind always. Definitely one of the more scarier modern players to be sure. And as I can say that before I've even finished my sentence, has won the first round with immense corner pressure. Again, its ability to just get you here and keep you here. VGY.
It's just an absolute myriad of like good pokes with, you know, good advantage, good staggers, and just decent confirms. And all of that when you're piling it on with each other, it's just, you don't really want to be on the receiving end of Johnny. In that corner, especially VGY's Johnny. And right now VGY just comfortably trying to play with the space as Zoker's trying to fill them out and control that space around the back one and using his buzzsaws to try and establish something. But right now, Zoker is the one with the health deficit.
But you know he's got to watch out for those swords though, right? This is definitely a matchup that VGY is familiar with. He's done it many times in the past. He's not going to be against the idea of floors blocking those air swords. I mean, Cabal really excels in that kind of mid-range to jump distance with those buttons, but you know what? That's also where Johnny wants to be. Kind of an awkward neutral to play. We see a trade, but it's a trade in VGY's favor, to be sure. He's got that big life lead. Zoka really trying to get something started, but again, cuts it short. Goes for the low hook.
Yeah, didn't want to commit to that counter hit. Could have potentially spent the KB.
I feel like VGY has
reset to neutral, but the anti
hit to this. No. Oh my goodness. In this round, I honestly feel like VGY's had next to no massive openings. That was almost an entire life bar of just a hit here, a hit there, a lot of chip damage. And before you know it, boom, game over. VGY now 2-0. We're having nothing but 3-0s today. This is actually quite crazy. Definitely not what I was expecting to see.
Yeah, this set right here feels almost night and day relative to how we were seeing Zoker play earlier. And really, it's like, we know, I think it's just like he's not able to cash out on these individual hits a lot. He was using the low hook in that game, particularly a fair bit more than he was already. But he's not cashing out on like the big damage, or I don't see things that I would honestly like to see, because I know this is quite a thing for Cabal with Nomad Dash, and that's hit confirming forward 4. But then again, it's like VGY is not really playing at a space where forward 4 is like threatening. He's constantly like dipping in and out, using the straight force ball.
We're not seeing the dash cancels really get the chance to be used, period. I feel like it's just the way that VGY is playing. The hook grab isn't working because he's not getting opened up. The dash cancel isn't happening because VGY is doing a great job of kind of just staying outside of the range of even letting him get these buttons on block. Because this variation of Cabal just needs you blocking something to establish something dangerous. And that's why VGY, I mean, look at the where he's standing, right? The movement underneath, ducking under the air saw for a punish, and corner pressure. But he's enforcing corner pressure from that kind of magic distance in MK11 where you're far enough away that the buttons don't reach, but if they try anything, you can kill them for it. And he knows that. VGY is just playing
2 rolls out of that corner.
Too slow.
Really didn't want to stay in there, and even after all that bar spent, Zoker doesn't have too much of a health lead right now. Zoker right now just trying to use the projectiles to control the space and everything, but he's gonna have to be careful about that fatal blow.
If he gets tagged by anything, he's dead. Shades is there, ready to be used.
Ooh. Oh, what a challenge.
Oh, that could have been a trip card. Speaking of which, there it is, cancel. Not even spinning the shades, doesn't need to. Oh, no. Actually, I thought it was going to
Zoker being pretty greedy with that breakaway.
Kill. I actually thought VGY was going to go for the armor break right away, but he didn't. It didn't matter. Zoker tried to go for one of those fatal blows. Didn't quite catch out, and that does mean now VGY sitting on match point.
It was almost pretty bad for VGY. Damn, though. the meaty Nomad dash.
Too slow.
But luckily for him, yeah, he won the round. He still has the Shades KB now for the final round situation for himself to close out the set potentially. But right now, Zoker has the upper hand, a big health lead right now, over half the life.
Oh my goodness, big hit confirm. Oh, but a breakaway. VGY confident. He does have Fatal Blow. He does still have the Shades. He didn't use them before. The Shades here could start a comeback. Oh, no, not quite in time.
He was really trying to shimmy that and get the punish. Finding a punish now.
That was optimal punish. And he had the Shades. There's the launch. Big damage. Block. Oh no, not quite enough to kill. Fatal blow. Oh, run up mid. Fatal blow for good measure. Unnecessary, but hey, we'll take it. VGY with a clutch play into that Shades KB. Johnny Cage, forever the comeback machine. Throw in Shades or throw in rounds. Either way, ain't gonna be a problem. What a performance. And what a result. Another 3-0 Falcon. We are getting nothing but sweeps all day. And it's been a big surprise. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, you're really right, Mustard. You know, that last round really looked like Zoker was doing something really good. It looked like he was about to start making, you know, a potential comeback or something like that. And then VGY just went Super Saiyan, basically.
But
like he kind of just...
Think about it. Think about the way that round went down at the very end. What was the tipping point that put it over the edge? Zoka has like a 60% life lead, and he throws an air saw, which under most circumstances is safe to do. But against VGY, I said right at the start of the set, he's going to know the flawless blocks. He can flawless block those saws in the neutral. When done close enough, it does make them unsafe. And he punished it, you know, with an advancing button, decent damage, into the fatal blow cancel, Shades KB, turned it into a big damage combo with advantage at a range to establish a follow-up. Did exactly that, won the round. That was like the perfect play to bring VGY back into that round. And also does show why saving the Shades KB was worth it in the round prior. You know, we'll see him save it and go,
yeah,
was it necessary to save it? You know, a bit risky to kind of play with your food a little bit. But he did exactly that, and it was the reason he had the resources to seal the deal at the end of it. So a true Johnny Cage master. No question about it.
Definitely a bit of foresight and hindsight built into that one. But now we're going to have the matchup we've seen like many a time. Asodematsu versus VGY, who are going to be playing each other in the next round of losers. And between those guys, obviously they've played each other countless times by now. Many times I've seen these guys play in tournament. Whether it be, you know, the Pro Comp Online like we have now, whether it be any of the community run tournaments, or just the invitational that happened, the offline invitational happened quite a while back, where VGY went over to Italy and basically just stomped everything.
I know what you're talking about. I'm fairly sure that was Clash of the Olympians. I think it was a Greek tournament. It was
it Clash of the Olympians? Because I thought there was an EE invitational.
I'm fairly... Oh, wait. If you're talking offline, it was the Clash of the Olympians. The EE one, I'm not sure, but I know for sure there was one in Greece. I mean, we may both be right. It may have just been both of them. But regardless, this is definitely a matchup we've seen a lot, but it's not the matchup we'll see right now, as it is time for winners finals, as we have Josh TQ of the UK versus MK Javier MK. You know, this is the demon of Combat League from Spain against Josh TQ, the ever-rising star from the UK. Winners finals, definitely a great place to be sitting in. Now, the question is, where do we go here? Because Josh, the Aaron Black extraordinaire, but we have seen him with other characters up until quite recently, in fact. You know, he's been playing a lot of Sindel as well. You never know what other characters he might have up his sleeve. But against Scorpion, I don't know what to expect. I think Aaron Black is usually the go-to, but it looks like, oh, actually Liu Kang from Josh. Okay.
Yeah, very interesting. So he's going to be rocking the Dragon's Fire Flame buff, the Command Grab, and the low Fireball, which is a pretty well-rounded variation. But it's interesting to see him play Liu. Now, I know the thing is, I wouldn't count Josh I wouldn't count him out playing any character, to be honest. I've seen this guy destroy people with Shao Kahn like it's nothing. And playing a character like Liu, who is, you know, still considered one of the best characters in the game, I imagine that he's probably feeling pretty confident going into this. But Javier has the power of the entire Spanish community behind him. and they get hype.
Liu Kang's up 2. It is a strong up 2, but it doesn't quite have the range. It's not going to be quite as versatile as the others. It is super fast, but it's not very far-reaching. We'll see it be too much. Now, a good thing about Liu Kang in the hands of any player is, I feel like Liu Kang is a more rushed-down version of Johnny, where if you are fundamentally sound at the game, you should be able to pick up those characters quite quickly. And Liu Kang is very similar to that. And oh, you can see both bars. Yeah, that KB so close. Oh, that was quite a dangerous OP tool from Josh. Just need something here, but not quite enough to chip yet. And there's the down one. Manages to find it. But Liu Kang, you know, he's not the most complicated character on paper, right? Like, if you are good at the game, you should be able to pick him up, get to grips with him. Very crushing blow. You need a decent amount of game sense. And if you have that, which we know Josh does, you should be able to make some pretty magical things happen.
Honestly, delaying that as well, that wasn't even a true take throw right there. It was really just a back one stagger into the Kasari slam. Gets that for him, but a throw tech from Javier. Getting a throw for himself, tacking on the escape failed. Gonna have that one in the pocket for later unless Josh can successfully tech another throw, but the down 2 KB. Speaking of throws, gets blown up for using one. And ending in that Demon Dash. What a cool looking normal for 419 damage into another KB!
I feel no pain.
Well, that was a sequence.
Final round. Fight.
Javier just made like the right call so many times.
Yeah.
Oh my
big
god, he's
damage.
got 3
That's
KBs
the crushing
back to
blow.
back.
Yep. We are
Showed him
done.
the sandal.
So much KB damage.
Oh look, he's fishing for another one. He's trying to spend them all now.
He's got some requirement he's going for.
Yeah.
So we're very
Josh
close
using
to
his
number
movement
1
very
go. There's a big hit. Second bar spent. We're cashing out. Ooh. Okay, what's the read? Oh, counter hit. Oh no. Oh no. He can't break. There's one. Right, he's definitely got the bicycle kick KB. Big damage. Fatal blow there too. The tree. Oh no.
Oh.
He opened up. Now this won't kill. No. This won't kill, but it will be damn close. Oh my goodness. What's it going to be? Fireball will kill. So will just about anything else.
Oh god, yeah, but the space he's at.
Chip. Oh my god. Out of all the options, just a straight fireball. And Javier just walked up to him. I wonder if he was expecting, like, maybe a dragon's buff activation, maybe? Something, because he just straight up got off the ground with a full forward dash. He was expecting something very specific.
Yeah, I really wonder what it was that he thought was going to happen. But Josh using the straight fireball was a smart choice, really. Fortunately for him, it was during the moment where Javier just decided to dash. Because obviously, you know, you don't have much to worry about in terms of a Scorpion reacting that closely to the straight fireball. Low fireball, on the other hand, it's a different story. It's a bit more reactable, but the straight one just about checking him, and Josh kind of stole that one away, really, by the hairs on his chin. And MK Javier is, I think he was playing that match.
That's a phrase
really
I
well,
have not heard in a long time.
It's it was but Javier, you know, it's like, I think this guy has just been constantly getting better. I haven't seen him too much compared to some other players around the European online scene, but every time I do see him, he's significantly better than he was before.
I mean, Javier is just one of those players that was born and bred in the mean streets of online, you know what I mean? Like, bit of a ranked demon, always has been, even back to like other NetherRealm games, but this is the first time I've seen him compete a lot. But this is also the highest quantity of online tournaments. You know, there are definitely players out there that, I don't know if they don't travel offline because maybe they can't, or you know, obviously maybe they don't have the funds to travel, or maybe they're just not interested in going offline to compete. But when we have a year like we've had right now, where online events are aplenty, you know, these online players do get their moment to really start competing and entering tournaments. And we're seeing exactly that. Josh tries to go for a big pick up there, but not quite close enough to the corner, unfortunately. So this Liu Kang pick. Oh, and there's a slight delay. There it is. Gets it this time. Oh, big damage for Liu
Finds
Kang.
that confirmed. 32% in that down one check, gonna close out the round for himself. Josh looking real clean and comfortable right now playing this Liu Kang.
Round 2. Fight.
And the movement too. You know, we do say often that BGY has some of the best movement in the scene, but it runs in the family. Josh knows a thing or two about that movement.
And he does, getting staggered on for days right now, answering back, trying to fight his way out the corner. Javier with the positioning, but that throw whiff was unfortunate for him. Josh capitalizing on the situation and puts him in the corner. Plus frames.
Now, Josh is making some big call-outs here, though. Like, he's getting a lot of plus frames or advantage, and he's kind of just... He's actually doing nothing with them. I think he's wanting Javier to press. He's committing to the patience.
You know, I actually, on second thought, I wonder how much these guys have actually played against each other, because Josh frequently plays Kombat League like every season, doesn't he? So,
for sure.
I wonder if maybe they've played against each other quite frequently. Catches
big
forward
hit
forward two.
Yeah.
All he needed. 20% into the round win. Javier now evening things out this game, looking to try and tie things up 1-1, but a throw take right there from Josh, not letting any of that slide.
Oh, big catch on the jump back there, though. Oh, and a grab again.
Okay, the jump in, checked into the back.
He gets a very strong tick throw off the environment on the stage. We're going to see it come to use. He's about close enough. Back one.
Yep. Oh, didn't use
finish the string.
I think he was trying to check Josh unknowing that on the back tick.
Yeah, that was actually really smart from Josh to wait. Oh, and the option select jump kick. Now Fatal Blow's there again. Are we going to see it? Oh, that could have been so dangerous. Oh, not enough to kill. Oh, and always a back three moment in Scorpion Town as the overhead clutches it out for Javier. You have to be so careful, though. Round 3 Liu Kang is no joke. One of the absolute biggest crushing blow characters in the game. You get to round 3, he's got bicycle kick, he's got throw, he's got counter hit, he's got fatal blow for just a big payout. Like, you can never be too careful, but Javier able to seal the deal before things got out of hand and ties things up 1 game apiece. Now, I do wonder if we see Josh stick with the Liu Kang, because this is definitely not a character we're used to seeing him with too much, competitively speaking. But you never know. He's definitely not afraid of playing other characters.
Yeah, you know, Josh, he does have an array of different characters he can play at a very high level. Scarlet is a very interesting pick. I don't actually know if this matchup favors either character. I saw this matchup earlier on within the same day during the OCE top 8 for IKK between Subby and Wi-Fi Scorp. And it seemed like it was kind of just based on reads more than anything. But I don't really know.
This actually is this is a matchup that I see a lot of Scarlet players say they don't like. You know, long recovery on buttons makes it very whiff punishable. You know, kind of real built around that projectile game. Now this move right here, I made a mistake of calling it Boiling Point earlier, but it's not. It's the alternate version. It's Retribution. It's a true restand, a high damage restand to be sure. But it's a move that we're not seeing too many Scarlet players go with.
It's slightly different. Boiling Point raises them in the air, right?
Yeah, Boiling Point is, it's like the exact same kind of tracking for the most part, but Boiling Point is just huge damage, and this is like a higher damage but restand option. So it doesn't have quite the same, but it's definitely high damage for a restand at the very least. But Josh.
Well, Javier right now, he is getting the damage to even out the health bars right now. Josh is in Fatal Blow territory. Both players are. It's really going to come down to the next confirm is going to close out the game. Josh trying to find these blood shots to just try and heal back a little bit of life at least. Doesn't want to give Javier the spear crushing blow.
But there's the whiff punish. That tongue is going to be a good answer for it. Oh, but the big walk back into back one. Javier finding that good mid and an even better confirm. Josh going down around. But historically, this actually, like I was saying, this isn't a matchup that I've seen Scarlet players say they like at all. In fact, I have seen specifically people say it is a bad matchup for her. But Josh picking into it against Scorpion, he must believe different. It's already a very different style of Scarlet. Retribution already being quite a good damage answer, right? I mean, look at that. Almost quarter life restand off a high punish. That's not bad.
23% restand. And Javier presses back 1-4. That is
a character that doesn't spend a lot of bar. I mean, where else? Yeah, where else is she spending the bar on? Like, it's Scarlet.
Oh, the duck. Did not let that slide. I guess that close to the interactable. You gotta be careful. 2 ways. 50%. Look at that. 503 damage. Alright, getting back some life in his Josh.
Heal back a little bit. The important thing is he's just been able to survive. Oh, the whip punish! Oh my good lord, that was clean. Oh, baby. My goodness.
And Josh,
that was clean.
Showing off. It's no surprise to me that his Scarlet is good.
Fight.
But seeing it being, I guess, this competent is surprising. That he just seems comfortable enough on the character to almost, you know, be able to press things and make decisions as if they were second nature. Just like instinctually.
Oh, look at that punish. That is clean over 1/4 life. I remember seeing from Josh a while ago. I think it actually may have been week 1 of Pro Competition. He said he qualified for top 8 using only Scarlet. So I'm inclined to think he's been playing the character for quite a while. We just haven't seen it much in tournament at the very least, at least on stream. No, but the catch! And the heal just for good measure.
The interactable didn't work out. He's so lucky that last hit did not clip him on the way down. Josh now with a big life lead. It's his game to lose. Javier is just gonna have to slowly work his way in.
Oh my goodness, that can miss?
I did not know that could miss.
That's missed ever. That's unfortunate.
Good lord. And Josh taking game number 3. Going up.
I'm not gonna lie. No,
with the Scarlet.
After seeing how rough that first round was, I don't know if I believed in this pick, but I was quickly proven wrong as Josh got into that groove immediately after. And I've got to say, I really like the way Josh is playing Scarlet. I think Scarlet is one of those characters that, thanks to customs, does have some decent options. But this kind of Scarlet specifically, right? We're seeing no blood ball. He's exclusively using the quick projectile, because we even saw Javier try to react to like one projectile from full screen, which is where, through all intents and purposes, you should be able to punish a projectile. But Josh recovered in time. The fast projectile that Scarlet has recovers so quickly that he was able to block and punish despite being teleported on. And Josh is playing this with that in mind. We're not seeing any blood ball. We're seeing very few tongue. It's mainly just a quick shot and restands and heals when needed, completely stripping away some of the moves that are more popular for the sake of it being safer. And we're seeing it work really well. Ooh.
Look at it. I think that was it. He just knew he was going to jump back as soon as the match started. He dashed in to check him with the low straight into the blood ball. Not far enough away to get the skull destroying crushing blow. That was very difficult to say. And Javier shooting him back off to get that
soul crushing blow. You could sum up like half the crushing blows in the game with that. Morale destroying crushing blow.
Yes. Every down 2.
That's the universal soul destroying crushing blow.
Oh, the flawless block OS into that down 2, knowing the breakaway was going to come straight away. Oh, the jump against the throw gets the confirm.
Oh! Now, off a jump kick, this will scale, but it's Scarlet, so not much. Ouch. 450 big ones. Oh, on the anti-air. All right, question, Falcon. One overhead's hit. Do we see the overhead threat into the KB or not?
Fight.
Yeah, I think we're going to see it.
He hasn't pressed the button. Oh, yes, he has now. Oh! Big restand. Look at that. Full screen restand, almost 300 damage. 2 bars though, but very cool.
Too far away for that 1-2 punish. The 2-1 would have been better for it. Right now, Josh is trying to work this health bar. The down 1 anti-crossover.
Oh, wow. That was nice. Those poke anti-crossovers are quite dangerous to deep jump kicks, but when timed right, quite devastating. Big whip punish for the heal, and now he's full life again. But the grab, we'll say otherwise for now. Javier, he is back against the wall. This is match point against him. Winners finals. This is for grand finals.
Oh,
Winners
what a
side.
bait.
This is for the ultimate safety net. There it is again. Retribution. Does he move in? Oh, we tempted it. Oh, but the instant teleport cancel into the crushing blow. And the fatal blow is there too. Javier is definitely not out of this one, but the safety is gone. He has 1 bar for a cancel, but no breakaway. But at this health, it might not even matter. What can he do with it? There
Josh
it is.
playing
No
ever
more
so
cancel.
patiently.
Oh!
The backdash could have been big.
Chip damage is all he needs. Can Josh find it? Can he find it? Oh, the commitment! He knew! Javier, he knew. He used the flawless block knowledge against him. Now Josh just needs something, anything. The flawless block, the grab on reverse! Oh,
7
the time,
seconds though,
Falcon, the
Mustard.
time!
4 seconds. Oh, it's too long in animation.
Oh my god! Josh TQ, by the skin of his teeth, lives and pulls the blood out that's left. There can't be much left in there. Come on, not by now. Hey,
Like 50
what a
points
round!
and he's still over here donating generous blood to Scarlet's cause. What a king.
Oh,
But in all seriousness though, that really came down to like a literal like percent worth of chip damage. I think another jump kick into like 112 would have been it. Like that would have been the
that
win
had to be
for
less than
Javier,
a
but-
percent. No, I would go on record saying that had to be like point percentage. You know what I mean? Like, good lord, that was a close one. But Josh TQ is going to be coming off the winner in the end. Not only winning the set, but securing the ultimate safety net one can have in a top 8 of winner's side grand finals. That is minimum second place. That is a ton of points. And what an answer back for today. 3-0 over his brother, VGY. Going into this as the tournament favorite for sure, but Josh says, no way. Now is my week. And grand finals winner's side, very close to being able to prove exactly that. Javier, for sure, is now down in the loser's bracket, so still in the tournament, but now has a little bit of work to do to catch up. But I do want to, before we go into our next match, take a moment to give a huge thank you and shout out to Astro Gaming for supporting and being the official audio partner for the MK11 Pro competition. All of our caster audio that you can hear from us is powered by Astro and will be for the entire duration of this Pro competition season. You can visit astrogaming.com to find more information on all of their officially licensed PlayStation products. They are available right now. And you can see on the slide right here, you know, just a sample of what is available by Astro Gaming. Very high quality, and we do thank them for their continued support for Pro Competition, because this is not Astro's first rodeo supporting MK, and we do appreciate them very much. Now, we have one match left to go of this block, Falcon. It is going to be VGY versus Asso Damatsa, the rematch of the rematch of the rematch. Yep. We see this all the time in EU. Talk me through it. What are we going to see?
So the last time these guys played, that I saw them play in any competitive setting was during the grand finals of Lockdown 3rd on 3. And that was, winners finals was very one-sided. VGY won that, knocking Asso into the losers. But when Asso came back and then got the run back in the grand finals, that almost was a reset. It was 2-2, last moment, but Fujin's VGY ultimately secured the bag, got the win over there. And I feel like, you know, because Asso is very much a character specialist, only tends to play Cetrion, chances are we'll probably see VGY playing someone like Fujin. It's a very player-specific matchup at this point. These guys have played each other enough to know how each other plays. And just, as I mentioned it, VGY is going to be like locking in the Fujin. Frankly, I think he just plays this matchup phenomenally well. It seems so comfortable for him that it makes Cetrion not look as threatening as she can really be.
I mean, so we just need to see VGY playing characters that can move. Like, you don't have the wave dash execution that he has and not make the most of it. Fujin has been a character that VGY has been playing since launch, has a lot of time into the character, and even now, you know, I actually, which is really surprising, we still see VGY, and he's unique in this aspect, still playing Cloudwalker. He is still playing just tried and true Cloudwalker Fujin, like complete with the air parries. No one uses this variation anymore, and we never see the air parries get used. But for VGY,
instantly,
clearly, I would actually wager that. I don't think VGY plays like, I don't think he kind of grinds Fujin. I think he just has so much time on Fujin from the aftermath patch of the game, and he would use Fujin for Cetrion even back then. That this specific kind of Fujin and everything he knows, right, the muscle memory of the Cloudwalker combos and the bigger damage that comes with it, is still there to the point that he still has this as an option. And I definitely would wager that, and we see it really useful here.
I think you could very well be right over there. But there's something, you know, VGY is obviously a player that likes to do his homework. Knows as well as block gaps, knows what's fake, what isn't. And the 4-2-3s that we were seeing from Asso obviously isn't true into the deadly wins. And the first time I used it, it got blown up straight away. But right now, the health bars are pretty even right now. All it's going to take is one solid hit for either of these players to pretty much confirm into the round win. right now. Aso just chipping away at the health bar.
Yo! And there it is. Now, Skywalk, normally a great way in on most characters, but Cetrion's boulder does cover quite an awkward angle. If we're trying to approach that Skywalk, can be quite difficult to deal with. But look at that movement! The wind god.
When you see people like VGY and Hayate and Ninja Killer and stuff, when they move this way with Fujin, it's just so imposing in the neutral. Very, very scary to deal with when they can open up so much space instantly, but that beautiful confirm off that flawless block up 2.
I actually really like how VGY is, every time he gets that up 2, he is, oh, what a pickup. Every time we see him get that up 2 flawless block, he's just cutting it really short and just going for like down 4 needle. Now that is far from optimal, but Fujin's up 2 has a lot of recovery to it, so it's kind of hard, especially from max range, to get into the optimal distance, to go for the full pickup into the tornado. So he's definitely just cutting his damage to just guarantee that he gets the needle. Because it's not terrible damage for, you know, the bar spend, and you get the right open. Oh, big whip punish! Side switch too.
Yeah, exactly. The 28% gets him in the corner. This is not where you want to be right now. Dealing with a character that has so much space to move backwards, but...
Oh, back to back. 3 barriers. Dash up, grab at the tag. BGY. This man cannot be thrown. Oh, raw crossbow. And another grab. This time BGY, no attempt to tech. I think he sees that fatal blow and knows that is going to be Aso's best way back into this game. Take the throw, not the fatal blow. Oh, tries the counter poke, but no confirm! He didn't find it. Aso, that could have been confirmed as a fatal blow. Watch out.
He really did not.
Oh, no! Okay, the double amp on the crossbow. Very dangerous from BGY. He's going to be getting that perfect moment in the game win.
Yeah, VGY, honestly, I think Aso was playing that fairly well, but yeah, just the lack of belief on that 1-1. It could have been a fatal blow confirmed into the guaranteed round. But yeah, just really didn't trust it, I guess. It's probably just trying to challenge against anything VGY wants to throw out at him. But ultimately, really, like, it seems like Aso probably just doesn't seem to really like fighting Fujin in this respect as well. You can tell he's trying to keep VGY at a very peculiar space, but Fujin's a character that's just going to keep, you know, moving in, moving out, and just sliding all around the screen, kind of just as he wants to, and then VGY's movements making that even more of a factor to worry about with the back twos thrown into the equation.
There's no avoiding the fact that if there's one thing Fujin does not care about, it's keep away. Whether it's his back 2, whether it's his skywalk, whether it's his forward 3 to go under certain mid projectiles, whether it's his movement speed, you know what I mean? Like, if you have the wave dashing that VGY does, you blink and he's point blank from full, because he did like 3 instant wave dashes. And that is the range that VGY has been able to keep the entire match at from start to finish. And even now, I mean, look at it. The constant moving in and out. Just the smooth movement. And there it is again, the needle.
Yeah, you really cannot throw VGY. This guy is a notorious throw techer.
He's a throw tech spammer is what he is.
I'm surprised he can guess right on them that much. I suppose a lot of it really is situational about where they would want to throw you, but sometimes they really are just guesses, and he still gets them right most of the time.
I mean, like, throw teching in this game is game sense. You need to know what crushing blows, which characters get OP off which directions, you know, screen positioning and all that. But also, like, there are a lot of, like, defensive OSs where throw teching isn't always going to be a danger. You kind of tech a lot of the time. But at the same time, just the awareness, right? How much health do you have? Can you afford to get thrown here and not there? He's so good at calculating that before you've calculated it, that by the time you choose what direction you're throwing him, he's already teching it because he knows that's what you're going to do. You know? I mean, there are situations that, on paper, yes, it is technically a 50-50. But if you are so good at reading people and how they throw, right? Maybe player A prefers forward throws to back throws. And then you have, like I said before, about the game sense and the awareness. He has all of that in James. It's one of the reasons that he's so dangerous to try and throw.
Oh my god, got the flawless block on that down 2 as well. Actually got the punish, securing around 30% for the troubles. 305 damage with that mini jump kick. The back sway. Oh, didn't get the twister pickup though.
Yeah, he went for the optimal pickup in the corner. In the corner, you can get a full combo meatlessly off back 1 if you position. And again.
Now, I
back
feel
2,
like
needle.
Aso I feel like Aso kind of got he got away with forward 2-3 into deadly wins a lot against the other people he played. It hasn't worked a single time against VGY unless he had no resources to flawless walk up to it. Obviously, the forward 2 into deadly wins is the true one.
But that's why we're now seeing Aso go for so many barriers on block, the natural barrier instead, because that's the one you can't flawless block. You try and flawless block wins, you get hit by the barrier. But the barrier is unsafe no matter what, so it's a lot more you have to be ready for. Escape failed, that's disastrous. Yeah, tries to jump out. To get a teleport maybe. Oh dear. Ooh, wake up barrier. That's interesting.
Oh, the forward 3 gonna force the break. And right now, it literally is a striker throw in this situation. Don't know if he had the KB.
Oh, dive kick. My goodness. BGY, the Cloud Walker. Now, I do wonder, and I think I'll definitely ask him about it, but I do wonder why we still see him play Cloud Walker. Because you think about Cloud Walker, it is very much what we're used to seeing with Fujin. You know, you have the Skywalker, you have the Warp Needle. But what makes Cloud Walker is the air parries. I don't think I've ever seen VGY even use them once. So in theory, like on paper, yeah, like because like on paper it would make sense to just swap that move with something else. Normally we see it, arsenal just to get the extra elements to what you can equip and make it more meter, make Skywalk more meter efficient, and get the other utility that comes with that. But there has to be a reason that VGY is still playing it, because this is like, it's been like 3 weeks since we last saw him do this exact same thing, and he's still using Cloud Walker. There must be a reason for it.
I'm curious. I wonder if there really is like an actual application of the air parry that he would then justify picking it in the loadout, or maybe he just doesn't have a Fujin variation made. He just never bothered making one because he was always comfortable with V2.
I mean, honestly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, if you don't feel like you need to do anything else, then, I mean, why not, right? Oh, big punish underneath. That was clean.
Really just slip and slid his way straight underneath the beam. He's going to get another punish for his troubles right there on that unsafe string. The throw tech again.
Good throw tech. BGY is looking like another potential 3-0 here. And another... Oh my god, the knowledge! VGY just raw forward 3 to go under Hell's Wrath so he can just get a full standing punish. That is so gorgeous.
Yeah, honestly, this is like, I feel like just tying back into what I was saying at the beginning of the set. VGY just seems so comfortable in this matchup with Fujin. It just doesn't seem like something he's really being phased by, because he has the mobility for days, he has the options, and realistically, Aso's a very defensive player, and now the throws aren't working out for him, like, at all. He's just finding it progressively harder to do any damage outside of just the raw chip damage.
I mean, the biggest thing, he's getting punished really hard for like everything. Hell's Wrath, he's getting hurt for. Anything with a gap, he's getting flawless block for. Throws, he's just getting thrown all over the shop. Like, he is just getting punished for everything he's doing. Again, BGY, he is just on him.
He's got that escape failed as well, should he need it. There's the adaptation.
There, okay, there it is. Aso finds something around on the board just to build some of the space. All the screen behind him.
Definitely gonna need this round if he wants to keep himself in the tournament. This is losers.
I mean, elimination, man. He's facing elimination from the tournament. He needs this, or it's over. Cancel. Oh, there it is. No bar, trying to bait out that breakaway, perhaps. I could have picked up more on that, but I think he just wanted to play around it. Get the breakaway and then start going crazy.
Alright, restand it to 20%. Gonna get the back throw.
Oh yeah,
try and teleport after
big hit. We're noticing as well now, Aso, a lot of patience. Like, he's just sitting there. Oh, but the confirm.
That was a ridiculous call out on just the string being staggered. I haven't possibly seen Aso do enough for him to even know that he was going to do that, but clearly VGY is one step ahead.
VGY actually has to watch out for these crossbows, because if you get a good read in the duck, you can get hit by that fatal blow. But will it happen? Even chip damage on the needle might kill now. I'm not sure. There's 2 hits of the last breath, but it will not matter as the eternal forward 3 VGY with the pop-off finish him into probably a fatality. Yeah, he's got the sword out. It's definitely a fatality. Oh dear. And VGY with, again, we say this Fujin has been his answer against Asso for quite a while. And the proof is right here. We can hear it, we can't see it, but don't worry, we've seen it before. We know what's going on. Oh, and there's the no. We had the no. And then the VGY with a 3-0 win, getting that losers final. So minimum top 3 secured for himself. I'll be honest, not too surprised to see him run it back. He was winner's side top 8, lost to Josh, who is now in grand finals winner's side. So the question that is now on our minds is, will MK Javier be able to at least fend off one of the brothers today? Or will it be a double elimination at the hands of VGY and Josh TQ? But a good tournament nonetheless, and some good games lined up as we bring this week of pro competition to a close. But we're not quite there yet. We have a couple games left to go. But a really good tournament so far. I've had a lot of fun with this top 8, and I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, and EU just putting out an exceptional level of competition and amazing showcase games that we can really display for you in this top 8. But as Mustard said, we aren't quite done with it yet. We will be back with more games. But before all of that, we do want to talk about the MK11 merch store. If you haven't heard of that before, you can rep your realm and visit the Pro Competition merch store. Just head over to amazon.com/Mortal Kombat. Browse apparel featuring your region's league and favorite MK11 characters. If you take a look at the slide, if you're allowed to look at those logos, you like a certain design or something like that, but you're maybe not feeling it because it's not the region that relates to you or something, you can get those customized too. If you like the Melina shirt, you want the IKK logo on there, get that for yourself. Sort it all out just all over on amazon.com/Mortal Kombat. But we will return after the break with the top 3 of EU West over here in week number 2 of the IKK. So we hope to see you soon.
Jokes, no gimmicks, just combat.
PlayStation. Looking for attention, I don't need the extra tension, cause I'm in the 4th dimension, trapeze high in suspension. Now don't bother with the haters, cause they all be imitators. We're real life manipulators, get it back up and see you later. I like me for me, I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me, I am who I wanna be. Na 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 na. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else. I like me for me, I'ma be what I'ma be. Prove it to myself and nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself. I like me for me.
Hey guys, Ketchup and Mustard here, and it's time to test your might in the Mortal Kombat 11 Open Series.
Ready to rumble? Power on your PlayStation and head to the Events app.
Filter by type and select a convenient date and time. Boot up MK11 and locate the PS4 Tournaments menu option. Click it to visit a familiar place, the Console Events tab. Sign up and prepare to play.
Once registered, you can view your tournament details and check-in time.
A notification will remind you to tighten your black belt and get over here for your match.
Continue combat in the open qualifiers to close in on the competition.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the tournaments.
PlayStation.
worst nightmare.
Any ring I step into is mine. End of the line.
Then this fight is now personal.
It is exhausting being so perfect.
Welcome back, everybody. You are watching the Mortal Kombat 11 Pro Competition. We're just about to enter our top 3 of Intercontinental Combat. My name's Ketchup, joined by Falcon, and it's been a really fun day across both EU East and West. We're down to 3 final players before the day's action is closed out. And it's, I think, a fitting top 3. You've got the 2 God Brothers, you've got the Josh TQ and the VGY, we have the Javier as well lying in wait, and we're about to enter that losers finals to find out who the second grand finalist is going to be.
Yeah, you know, Josh sitting comfortably in that grand finals winner's side, CGL's own, and his brother down there in the losers finals, having fallen to Josh earlier, is going to have to beat MK Javier, MK, Spain's final and only representative in this top 8, in order for to get a chance at a run back at his younger brother, where he can try and take it back over there. But ultimately, Javier also playing for the run back, as both people in the losers finals have been knocked down into losers by Josh. But before we get into all these games, we just want to give a quick shout outs over to the presenting partner, the PS4 Tournament Open Series. The Mortal Kombat 11 Pro Competition is presented by PS4 Tournaments. Be sure to check out the Open Series. There are weekly competitions for all skill levels. You can compete against your friends and rivals for unique rewards. Visit the PlayStation 4 Competition Center, the one destination that is Mortal Kombat content that gives an inside look at how top players play, tips and tricks for players of all skill levels. All you have to do is head over to compete.playstation.com and link your PSN ID. Really great way to get started, to get your foot into the competitive field if you are an aspiring competitive player or an active Mortal Kombat player to any capacity.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be easier to compete these days, and the Open Series and the Pro Competition kind of go in hand, covering all kinds of different territories and regions and players. If you like playing online and you want to jump into the world of competitive, it's the one-stop shop, that competition center, and we cannot recommend it enough. Now, losers finals, this is where things get, you know, pretty critical. We're still in losers territory, so loser is out of the tournament for our latest edition, but there's plenty more pro competition where that came from. So, you know, make sure you stick around. We'll be doing these regularly over here on the NetherRealm YouTube and the NetherRealm Twitch. Looks like we're loading in now. So VGY going in with the Johnny Cage and Javier with the Scorpion. So this is definitely the battle of the mains right now. You know, we saw Josh earlier go in with the Scarlet when the chips were down, but I think this one's going to be a bit more of our regular scheduled programming, you know?
Yeah, for sure, Ketchup. And Video Games Yo is pretty much a patented Johnny Cage player at this point. Has an exceptionally good Johnny. And MK Javier, very much known for being the Combat League Demon and known for just playing the Scorpion, you know? A very aggressive Scorpion. A Scorpion that's not afraid to just take some risky decisions at times and play with his heart on his sleeve. So really excited to go into this losers finals to see who is actually going to get the chance at the run back against Josh in the grand finals as we determine the winner of this set.
We have the Demon Dash again coming out from Javier, which has been a pretty common pick for him. Really liking that kind of extra ender, the punish potential as well. BGY, a very classic Johnny Cage. Got that rising star, the pissed off, throwing shade for the comeback potential, and we're just going to see how this one goes as round one's already going to start here. Down 1, rising star, Johnny Cage classic, and looking to be as aggressive as possible, fresh on wake up. Javier just getting clipped by that forward 3, and Half-Life already gone, Falcon.
Yeah, just like that. He's in a bit of a predicament, only just built back that breakaway. But at this point in time, gets the shimmy, that back 1-4. Nice clean whiff punish on VGY right there after a helport cancel. But right here, opening up a bit more space. He's evened out some of the health, but not enough to take the advantage.
There's that immediate down 3 or down 4, just saying, mate, I want to get my turn back. Oh, dearie me. Okay. Johnny Cage is up 2. Flawless block just didn't hit its mark. Haven't seen that in a fair old while, and that was a big risk. You know, Javier. Wow, wait a minute. Yeah, I'll talk about this in a second because this round isn't over.
That was a very uncharacteristic drop from Video Games, yo. Both players being absolutely patient right now. No one wants to press the button first. And the jump kick, just about enough damage.
So, before that scramble happened, Javier went for a big call out, the forward 4 into spear. And right there again, happening 2 times in a row. I guess that's just going to become part of this matchup, and VGY is going to have to play around it. Maybe go for the up 3 instead. Javier did forward 4 spear to call out the flawless block on the forward 4-2. You know, it looks kind of random, but if you know your opponent likes a flawless block, that really is one of the ways of blowing it up. However, obviously, you know, it's a hard read because you get punished, and then the rest of that round definitely happened, but VGY on the verge of taking this first game. Bit of an interesting game so far, Falcon, I think.
It's been like surprisingly patient, but also very aggressive from both players. But VGY right now is just being able to cash out on all these hits he can get. And Javier struggling to really just get any damage or any opening potential on VGY, but just as I say, it lets the amplified teleport rip. Got caught, but VGY not faltering to that at all. Still had 70% life and secures the first game for himself.
There's just a way of, when you play Cage at the absolute highest level, especially with Video Game Joe, who is not shy of being crazy aggressive. There's just something about Johnny Cage who he's not about this kind of constant rush down, like, you know, an upgraded Jackie or, you know, like a Sub-Zero that's constantly mixing up. Yet he always has this knack of just, it's mostly down to his movement. It really is. That he's always in the right place at the right time. He sticks out these buttons at a range where maybe you'll forget about it. He'll micro dash forward and then bam, a back three comes out or whatever the case may be. And it always seems to be that right button. But Johnny Cage is a character that he's not particularly complicated, but if you're able to play at this level, Cage can be such a wonderful pick. VGY shows it why.
Has very, very oppressive buttons, and albeit, you know, a lot of people say things like, oh, Johnny's got no mids. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but he has some pretty good normals anyway. I mean, we just got to be real about that. And VGY is really using these pokes well, and he's using, you know, just the things like the 1-2-1, just a very like far advancing 7-frame startup string that is just blowing up Javier's attempt at doing things like back three.
But a big part of it is that movement. You can see, just look at the kind of almost in and out, the hit and run style that he brings forward. It's not just with Cage, it is with other characters too, but I think that really, you know, playing all of the characters where movement is key allows Cage to really thrive. And now there's that advance, catches the mid just into some nice little pushback at a range where he's going to be comfortable. Anytime there's pushback on those force balls, you're still going within down 3, down 4 range, which is where Cage is absolutely going to be comfortable. Now there's that forward 3. I think that Javier's really trying to bait out maybe a flawless block from those forward 3-4s, doing a couple too many in game 1 and adjusting it here. Look, he's already staggering that forward 3 now. He's fed up with flawless blocks. Oh, that's counter hit though.
Actually gets the KB over here, ending it in the spear, gets the corner reposition. Wise stuff right there from Javier. Gets that round for himself, which is pretty important. You got it with a nice health lead as well. Probably doing good for the morale in this department, but right now VGY already taking it down about 25% of his life.
There's that immediate call out on the teleport. If it works out, you know, you get that full combo. Ooh! Ducks under the grab, but doesn't quite get the button. Could have been a much bigger there, but just a regular old standing 1 or 2 in the face. Can't remember what the button is, to be honest, but you know, pushes forward. Javier.
Yeah, I think he might have tried to do that was a big call out. I think VGY might have tried to do 2-4-4, 1-2-1, and probably just pressed it too fast. But 46%. Javier has a lot of control in this match right now. The Helport cancel, 1-1-2 checks, knocks him down, but the jump 2 crossover into the back 3. Just enough for Javier to tie it up 1-1 in this losers finals.
That was absolutely Video Game Show looking for a flawless block, I think. He tried to flawless block on the wake up on that jump in, and just getting hit by the raw jump in before a button can even come out. I've seen that once or twice. It's when you try and flawless block a jump in and you just get clipped by it instead. The opposite of what you were looking for, but with it now being a 1-1, Javier always been such an online demon, but you don't see him every day in constant tournaments. You know, we've started to see him in open series. We're definitely seeing him in pro competition. And it's just bringing that high octane, that chaotic Scorpion, who has always been a character that has that edge to his game plan. You know, if you're a player that's not shy of playing on the wild side, whether it was MK9, X, where we are now. I mean, you know, if you hated yourself and wanted to play him in Injustice 1, he was always a character that existed for the crazy player. But you know, you can still play him.
This is like post teleport nerf, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
exactly.
man, yeah, because that thing was ridiculous. But honestly, Scorpion,
so
he just has he has a very like niche archetype that it's almost like playing a little bit risky. It's kind of just part of the Scorpion thing, you know. It's just part of the MO. A lot of staggers from VGY.
Exactly.
Yeah, scary stuff to be on. Javier gonna have to start challenging a bit, but gonna be real careful because
Oh,
Challenge at the wrong time. It could be disaster. Oh, gets the pickup.
not a bad little chunk of damage though either for jump kick into 1-2-1. 22% just like that. Into knockdown into situation. Video Game Joe looking like he's gonna take this first round the way things are going. Tries to whiff punish the back three. Can't quite find it. And we're starting to set up this grab game. Now Javier, just take the grabs where they can. Unlikely to try and tech them when you got that much life. Some players might just hold them. If not, Scorpion gets that escape failed, which might help you in the next round. Or, maybe you can even pull off a comeback in round one. Fatal Blow's ready to go. Don't count him out. Plenty of time. Oh, that missed input there, though. Definitely a back two. Looking to cancel it into the teleport, but when it's too far away, you just die, don't you?
Fight.
Yeah, I just couldn't get away with that one. And BGY just, he didn't even need to do anything. But that forward 3 into the teleport was a really nice opener from Javier. Finds another opportunity.
Gets the double as well. That forward 3 into sometimes double forward 3, sometimes standing 4. I guess the Demon Dash makes it a little bit easier to go for as well. Crushing blows coming out. Always a back 3 moment, and he's trying to catch you slipping. Always looking for it. Doing 2 of those overheads
Using
with 1 forward 4. Cheeky.
Yeah, I like the decision to do that because BGY just didn't have the bar to flawless block. And Javier honestly just explosively took that round. He took like chips worth of damage.
This really is just a game of who has the upper hand, right? Who's the one in the driver's seat? When Javier's the one that's able to push forward, the counter hit was already used. He's not going to get a full combo from that. He looks real good. But it's when video games show you, when he's the one that's in charge of the oppression. I mean, he's the one that just looks a lot better. There don't seem to be close rounds, right? Apart from maybe this one.
Yeah, it was definitely different in the very beginning when these guys started playing, but Javier took that last round pretty dominantly, and just before that, it was the other way around. So this is kind of like anyone's game right now. Javier does have the health lead. He did find himself some good hits, but he doesn't have as many KBs. That's many times now. That has worked for him quite a lot when we've seen him play in this top 8. He was doing that for Josh too,
Lord.
and the escape.
The late break. Yeah, the late break coming out from BGY right at the end of that combo, maybe expecting a spear or some kind of damage to maybe punish. But either way, he's going to go down in games here. And it is, in fact, Javier who's going to be able to take control. And with the way things are going, might be having a run back against Josh in the grand finals. I'm going to be honest with you. I look at this top 3, I would have thoroughly expected a rather comfortable grand finals between the two brothers, the CGL boys, because they are incredibly dominant in these online tournaments. And even throughout this course, they've looked really good. Javier fighting back, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, Javier has honestly just been playing really, really well. It seems like he was making some really good adaptations. He decided not to try and overcomplicate anything, not to try and take too many risks. He was just all about, the helport cancels, the micro walk backs into the back 1 punishes to catch the down 1s. The back 3s, just repeated usage of those. The forward 3, like the helport cancels to retreat and stuff, and then instantly just going straight back in there to get a button and catch the punish or catch them doing something. And now only 1 game away from potentially eliminating Video Game Zone and knocking him out, getting himself into grand finals. VGY betting it all right now on Spawn. And I will try not to be as personally biased as possible.
Oh yeah, of course, always. That's always.
He's just the coolest character.
No, I tell you what, man, that's always a lost cause. Just embrace it. But Spawn versus Scorpion. Video Game Joe, if he's able to get a good flawless block, for example, or maybe you can punish one of these teleports, he's going to get the gigantic damage payout. But he has to get that opportunity first. There's that up 3. But Javier, he's done a half life on Video Game Joe already, and he's setting up an escape failed. Oh, dearie me. But this could actually be quite bad for him.
Yeah, he was looking to try and shimmy VGY right there, just trying to catch him pressing the button, but VGY didn't want to bite. That standing 3 nice, using the back 4 to check that space very well, charges into that hell spawn, using the lethal glide to keep him standing, breakaway against the down back 3. Unfortunately, didn't really get too much off of it because it was a bit late.
The tech, that's going to get rid of the escape failed. He'll survive this.
Oh, guy instantly got it right back for himself, though, with the escape failed again.
Oh, no! That's it. That is going to be the round. Video Game Show. There were so many layers to that final sequence, Falcon. The fact that he got the immediate throw tech to remove the escape failed. He then gets grabbed, but because the escape failed is gone, he survives the grab and then opens up Javier. 1 clean hit into Fatal Blow. Able to keep his meter 2 going in with a full tank in this next round. And that was clutch by every sense of the word.
And right again, the throw tech as well, even though he got the escape failed after the successful throw tech from before, he no longer has that KB on the throw. So right now, Javier just trying to do something, trying to work his way in as he now feels like he's on the back foot. Oh, what a confirm.
There's that Fatal Phantasm restand as well. The pressure continues. Really want you to press a button. Looking for it. Counter hit 1-1, doesn't matter. He'd rather have the double leap combos. Man, that is such high damage. Double jump in!
Damn it.
Uppercut.
Alright, Javier just playing really patient. He has the fatal blow to work with, but that's a big whiff right there. And VGY tying it up 2-2.
I love this pick to spawn. Just look at the way that he was able to play around this, right? He knows his enemy. You're against Javier, very button happy, although playing incredibly well. Gotta give him his credit. Playing out of his skin right now, and could definitely win this next game. But this change to spawn, there's a similar air of the movement and the buttons being pressed, even similarities in the projectiles that you would throw. But the difference between Cage and Spawn in this specific matchup is that the damage, no matter what, is going to hit hard. And I mean, that's clearly making a significant difference. Without Spawn damage, that first round would not have been won in that way.
He's so it's like the stand 3 and stuff as well, you know, just outside of like the range that Johnny would be able to like down 3, down 4, like 4-1-2 and stuff is a very like magical space that VGY is using incredibly well. And even though he hasn't, you know, constantly been using like stand 3 or stand 3-4, the few times where he has used it, it's been very beneficial and pays off for him. But here we are in the final game over here to determine who's going to go off into the grand finals. And the loser side, who do you think who would you put your money on right now, Ketchup?
I think VGY, personally. I think it's a combination of getting the damage on deck, but also just those important buttons, the 3-4, for example. You know, if Javier whiffs anything anywhere near jump distance, you know VGY is going to get a gigantic punch on it. And the spawn is what's really allowing that to be a thing. Being able to dash in, the hit and run. And there's the punish on the cancels. We didn't see that in the last game. Remember, you don't see a lot of spawn players cancel because they're not really real, to be honest. They kind of catch you.
Yeah, they're very fake. It's just a timing thing, really, isn't it? It's just about throwing off the other person's timing and playing that part of the mind game. But the cancels themselves are fake.
Now, what's it going to be? There's that wave dash to say, get me out of the corner, sir. Do not want to be there. Javier in the lead for now. Oh, catches the button press.
Again.
No, she's going to press. Jump in.
It's getting with that helport cancel straight away into that back walk.
Oh my
God.
God.
So much for him.
Can I just point out that Javier did a back 1 on Video Game Joe's plus frames of that 1-1 because he just knows. He knows the layers have been established and now the match point and the crushing blow. Is he going to do it in this final game? An opportunity for revenge. Get one of the brothers to tackle the second.
Javier right now working on quite the story. He's definitely the underdog in both these sets. Even if he is to beat VGY over here, I would still consider him the underdog playing against Josh. And, you know, really carrying the weight of the Spanish FGC on his back right here. I mean, VGY did have the bar. Probably read the break.
Frames away for the bar. Oh. This is too close to call, Falcon. I really don't know what to make of this potential last round. Fatal blows ready.
Yeah, this is really nerve-wracking, but either player's successful hit's really going to spell disaster for the other person. What a confirm from VGY.
Wouldn't last a day.
And just like that, match point on both sides. Looking at the resources, both players with a breakaway, which, you know, you bet that's going to become a bit apparent as we go on to this final round. And this is for a shot at grand finals, remember. 1 round away either side. The jump in, but the side switching teleport immediately. Okay, I see, we're gaming.
Really rate that decision. I like that. And right now, yeah, I mean, both players playing really reserved. They're just trying to, like, feel each other out in this space.
Back one cancelled again. At least doing it from max distance. A little bit harder to challenge if you're not doing it from point blank. But that's a throw punish.
KB?
No way you can tech it. It was guaranteed damage. Guaranteed damage. You cannot tech throws when they punish you. But the side switch, he's going to even the odds quite nicely, I think, Falcon. Restand.
Yeah, again, extra 8.8% on that as well. Like, KB really didn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things. All right, plus frames. Oh, he tried to teleport out.
Oh, man, the fatal blow. I'm so nervous. Tries to scout standing 3.
Just
one home.
literally a hair away. Javier trying to look for maybe an opportunity to teleport on these Necroblasts.
That spear, that is his ticket. He's looking for it. If one of these spears connects.
The win condition KB right now, looking for a shimmy, not gonna work.
VGY 10 seconds on the clock. Wait, the crushing blow throw is gone. Oh, and he'll punish with the crushing blow. Video Game Joe at the last minute really did have everything working out for him. That throw crushing blow being used at the beginning meant that with 10 seconons left, what does Scorpion do to get that much life if you just sit there and block?
Exactly. It's like in those kinds of situations, it really had to have come down to Javier trying to take a health lead early on and maybe play the clock in his favor, running away with those spears. But ultimately, VGY staying as composed as ever. But I also want to give a shout outs to MK Javier as well for honestly just playing really superb and playing really well. To get that close to eliminating VGY in tournament is no easy feat in and of itself. And, you know, I'm sure that we'll be seeing his name come up way more again in the future. I'm quite sure he was also in the previous week's top 8, if memory serves me correctly, the previous event. But Grand Finals is set.
He's no stranger. No stranger to top 8 placings in both Pro Competition and even the Open Series, remember? PS4 tournaments covering a wide variety of different programs, and the Open Series is somewhere that Javier is a rather regular name, you know, so quite right to point it out, Falcon. Good games in our Grand Finals now, the Battle of the Brothers. Losers bracket, though, so again, quickly as we jump in, just remind people what the double elimination format involves.
Okay, so up here in the Grand Finals, we got Josh TQ, who's in the winner side, only going to have to win that one set. That's all he needs in order to take this and take his first place, get his 350 points, and win the IKK. However, Video Games Yo is playing from the loser side, and to do that, he's going to have to win 2 sets. Anyone who already, you know, watches standard fighting game tournaments and stuff, this is exactly the same format, the same double elimination format. But VGY is going to have to win 2 sets. He has to reset the bracket first in a first to 3, and then he has to do the same thing again in order to actually win the tournament. So he is given the chance at being able to win, despite the fact that, you know, you do go down into the losers. But Josh has it pretty much easier. If they're trading game for game, ultimately it's favorable for Josh because he only needs to win the 1 set.
So as we go into our Grand Finals and while we load things up, I'd like to take this opportunity once more to shout out and thank the official audio partner of the MK11 Pro Competition, Astro Gaming. All of the caster audio that you see here, and even down to this really sick Mortal Kombat panels that we got from Final Combat, you know, during last year, which already feels like an absolute age ago. You can go to astrogaming.com for more information on their PS4 related products, and it can all be found on their website. Astro have been a long-term supporter of Mortal Kombat and the FGC, and we appreciate it very much. But it's Grand Finals time, Falcon, a run back of where we started here in this top 8. There's Josh TQ, a dominant 3-0 over VGY, started the day off. Is history going to repeat? Or are we going to go reset game 5? I think the latter, personally.
Johnny Cage dies. Is someone
if there were ever a time to sweat as much as possible, it would be now. Like, because this is the biggest, the biggest display of player-based matchup in the entire top 8 is these guys playing against each other. And to see each other over here again in Grand Finals, honestly, both of them are just no stranger to that. But to kick things off, Josh right now getting countered out when it wasn't even a punish by that shadow kick on the low Peacemaker.
It's definitely a message being sent. It's not going to punish you, but if you think you can just move around to your heart's content after doing it, you've got another thing coming. And there's a reason that was done immediately. Now look, already, he's dashing in after blocking it. He knows. I mean, look, who knows you competitively better than your main training partner? Like, come on now. You know the layers that are going to be in this map.
Oh, very risky stuff right there. Getting to it, VGY has a pretty good health lead, but that was a very nice whiff punish from Josh TQ. Going to cash out on a fair bit of damage, throw down the acid.
All right, we're down 2 combos and acid as well. Oh, the buffer!
Oh my goodness. Josh is a firm advocate of that normal as well.
Oh yeah, so no one knows how to space it for buffering better than him, for sure. You know, buffering, for those that don't know, just sticking out a button and it's only going to connect if it lands. So you basically just input the special or whatever it is just in case it reaches, and when it does, bam, the button comes out. Now, there's more to it than that, but that's the TLDR. Very high-level technique, but effective at this level of play.
Definitely.
Oh!
Right here.
Right now.
Josh, you know, he's got the health lead now. The acid did a little bit of work for him, but eating those 2 force balls, presumably doesn't really want his back in the corner right now, dealing with Johnny. Trying to fight his way out.
There's that immediate push forward. This corner pressure right now belonging to Cage, but all it takes is one good button. Maybe a slide, perhaps. Josh TQ able to side switch, and he will do with a command grab this time. Now, Video Games Yo, full resources, both bars. Josh TQ playing this ranged game. The objective here is just to get rid of those bullets. We want that launching, crushing blow for the bigger damage. And there's the break. Last chance to do it in this round for him. Can he land an opening? Oh, never mind. Can't break this.
Yeah, VGY getting a fair bit of damage over there, 25%, but the pickup to confirm into the round win. That was very, very clean from Video Games Yo. As we approach into the final round in game number 1 of this grand finals.
There's that immediate low just in case, the pushback. Looking for a forward 3, just out of range now. Video Game Show really taking us coast to coast, to be honest, as now the corner pressure continues. This time, VGY pushing it forward again. Empty jump low, just in case. Gives himself a little bit of a turn steal. The low, but pushback's not going to do much when your back's to the corner, is it?
Very true catch up. And right now, yeah, the floss block on that 4-3-2.
Didn't have meter for up to it, though. Had to just let it rock. And he has to eat a grab for his troubles. Staggers again.
Speaking of
one throw at a time.
At least Josh is not in the corner. This is honestly just a better space for him to work with the forward 4 boot. Didn't he go for it again? Yeah, VGY being wise to it.
Got the right idea for that poke.
They're just choosing their space like so patiently. It's hard to just, you know, commentate on what they're exactly doing with the low crush.
Letting the whole thing rock. Wait a minute, there's the low, out of nowhere, the down 4. He tries to trip guard with the empty jump low. Another low coming forward, but with this projectile in play. Tries to whip Punisher now. What's it gonna be? The drop kick. Oh, you know he tried to answer back on that jump in so bad. But he just couldn't find the final sequence right there.
Honestly, that was a really like nail-biting first game. In that last, like in those final moments, it really did look like Josh had potential to make a comeback. He was challenging, you know, after like VGY's down 4 on hit, he was saying like, I'm really challenging you to try and jail me over here. It potentially could have been something for him, but VGY held that down and he's just playing super, super solid.
I feel like this was only a taste of things to come, to be honest with you. The fact that now Video Games Yo, to remind everyone, he's on the loser's side of this bracket. If he wins the next 2 games, we go in for a reset, we start again, 3 out of 5. Josh TQ, these 3 games will be his tournament over. You know, he's on the winner's side. And with it being as close as it was, I mean, look at the account levels for crying out loud, 97 and 95. I want to know what they're combined.
Yeah, I know, they're grinding.
Round 1, fight.
Now we begin. An immediate launch already breaks forward. The wake-up jump, though. No option on the other side.
But the rising star is
get low.
Punished.
Nah, not quite. Oh, wake up 1-2. There is the art of the wake up button. It's not always a terrible idea. If you know that you're far enough away that you can challenge them coming in, that's when it's actually a good idea. I think a common misconception is that I've knocked you down no matter where it is on screen, therefore it's my turn. That's not always the case. And just that situation.
Yeah, Oki is a really big factor.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's something we were seeing Azerbaijan do a lot that we played Dragon Temple with Rain. He was challenging a lot of people's plus frames on the approach due to the space with down 3 on wake up. And it was working out wonders for him.
Uh-oh, that's the round. This round is over. Here we go.
Yeah, I don't think he's dropping his combo and in that pissed off spend the bar. Oh god, not enough to kill.
There was 1% in it.
Ready for my close-up.
Who cares? It's over. The round's going to be done anyway with the force ball in hand.
Round 2, fight.
Now, looks like there's a lot of momentum already on the way for Video Game Joe. There's a reason Cage players really like to take that throwing shade. A big risk, though. Here's a launch. Josh CQ able to fight back as the drop into acid. Man, I like that combo.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm pretty sure I saw Pulse do that like early on in the game, and I thought it was sick. But yeah, you know, with Josh making the adaptation as well, the block on the shadow kick is really important. Because VGY obviously let one rock really early on in the set to send a message, but after that, clearly it isn't a true punish in that situation. He only just got damaged in return. And right now, VGY is on the back foot. That was a clean jump kick OS into the command grab. A nice little bit of 26 damage. And then checks him with the mid.
It's not normally the kind of move you would expect people to option select to jump in with, but it looks like it's only done off the neutral jump, and clearly it's only going to hit as a neutral jump if they come in. So a really good idea there from Josh. Nice piece of tech again. This Aaron Black specialist, you know he's got those small details on lock. Oh, with punish. Could have been a bit more damage perhaps, but he takes the knockdown anyway. Gets some of that free damage on the floor, the green stuff. Melt the feet. And yeah.
Oh. Gets the pickup. No overcommitment on the string as well due to the breakaway. Good presence of mind from Josh. Doesn't have a breakaway of his own right now. Gonna have to hold this damage in the corner carry.
Now there's that another advancing mid. They want to overcommit though, potentially. Acid. Less about the damage at this level, and it's more about trying to force a situation. Nice jump kick into shadow kick. Again, I think that was probably OS as it came out instantly. Oh, he wants that fatal blow so bad. You can feel it. Drop kick!
Yeah, definitely. The forward 4. Alright, playing really, really patient right now.
It's almost chipped. Doesn't want to overcommit to the forward 3. Again, so close. The low and the mind games that are created from it. There's a grab. He can afford to take this, but no more. One more hit, realistically. Oh, no!
Oh, my goodness, catch up.
Oh
my lord.
He only went and bloody did
the last hit.
Oh, and the last hit is all you need for that cinematic to start. Wait, is he fully
reloading at
rude? That is so rude. He reloaded all 7 bullets.
The reload. This is just heightened ascended BM now.
I mean, they're gonna do it to each other. They're brothers. You know.
Yeah, definitely, right.
Sibling rivalry is already a thing outside of tournaments in any walk of life, and now, you know, we're in an actual tournament, in an actual grand final, so can't say that surprises me. I mean, I'd definitely mercy mustard in tournament.
But yeah, tying things up, Josh, this is a very patient, set between these guys. The spacing that they're choosing is always really, really patient. You know, Josh is hesitant about approaching most of the time because he doesn't need to. He's just throwing out the rifle, you know, gradually emptying the clip, throwing down the acid, trying to confirm any hits that he does get. But for the most part, it seems like he's comfortable challenging a lot of VGY's approach with these down 3s, down 4s, and throwing in the back 2 here and there just to try and keep him guessing.
But I gotta say, I don't think it was an awful idea because they're playing so clean and respectful that in the last moment is maybe the last thing that you expect. If you're playing like Kombat League or something, you'll be ready for wake up fatal blow. But if you're playing against your one of your main training partners and teammates and someone you've played a million times, that is against the grain and catch you off guard for sure. Looking for a short hop this time though. The low come through. Video Game Show full combo, and importantly, we're starting to get into the corner of the Cyberlink Quay assembly. So those interactables in the background, they can be quite interesting, you know.
It really could. Gonna get that slide as well. Josh now with the corner positioning. He does have a health deficit with the micro dunk.
And there's the acid once more. Really nice read there from Josh, who is absolutely dismantling this life bar. And he's able to push forward again. There's the safe distance. Doesn't want to overcommit, but the sweep's going to do it. Josh TQ. 1 round away from being really 2-1 and 1 game away.
Really good utilization of Aaron's sweep as well. Exceptionally good normal. Just as I mentioned it, he literally hit it again. And Josh really stole that round. He had VGY just in the corner and kind of just made him succumb to the pressure. But right now, VGY fighting his way out, trying to get a better position in the screen, but those shots have definitely given Josh the health lead to work with, throwing down the acid.
And again, importantly, using all 7 of those bullets. You run out of ammo, and that launch that you get that crushing blow attached. And when you're in 1 round away from winning this next game, that's a bit of an important resource. Yeah, that could have been much more damage than we saw.
Oh, the anti-air.
Oh, man. I mean, with what just happened in the last game, beating that fatal blow probably felt a little bit good. If your video game showing there.
It probably did. Now, I know that Josh obviously did the jab into it to try and guarantee it on the break, but VGY breaking out instantaneously, it really wasn't, a threat in the slightest. He did spend his breakaway as well, so Josh still currently down on those 2 defensive bars just in case he gets opened up and needs to break. Nice air-to-air, Shades of Injustice right there.
Absolutely. You always know when someone plays just Injustice 1, those instant jump-in ones. However, corner pressure now, and a full combo for VGY after a dominant round 1 from Josh TQ, being able to bring it back. This is going to be quite a mountain to climb in terms of a comeback, especially against someone that has studied all your moves. Oh, the tick throw.
Definitely gets the tick grab. Alright, he's going to get 17% on this. He's going to have himself the corner positioning, but you got to be careful. Oh, that throw, it could have been really dangerous.
But I feel like with the way things are now, you kind of have to go all in and dedicate to every decision. Whiffs it. Oh, no amplify allowed. Right before you do it. The little toes of the Lyndon Ashby coming out. And it's now 1 game away from us resetting this grand finals and bringing us into a fresh new set.
Yeah, Josh has been playing well, but he was doing really well in that first round. VGY really turned it completely on its head for the next 2 rounds straight, pretty much. And it's crazy because VGY just sort of, bursts. He just like bursts through this cage almost. It's like even when you back him into a corner, he just fights his way out much harder. And obviously, when you're playing this kind of player matchup and stuff like that, it's you just already intrinsically know what your brother's bound to do. You know any habits that he might have. But the same could be said vice versa about Josh knowing VGY's playstyle and stuff as well.
And I feel like now, as we're in this situation, video game show, you can sense that bracket reset. And if the reset happens, who knows if we're even going to stick with these characters. You never know. We saw Josh TQ in the winners finals go to the Scarlet to get the job done. But as we now go fresh in, that command grab, that does a lot of damage for an amplified command grab on its own. Kotal Khan are often talked about for command grabs, but Aaron Black's one not too shabby as it even picks up as well, as we can clearly see. Good damage again. There's the explosion. And a solid round 1 start here for Josh.
It's 220 damage on the table right there. You're going to check with the force balls, Josh. Moving in and sweeping with the anti-air straight away from VGY on that wake up, not letting that crossover work at all.
Oh, lets the whole string whiff. That is definitely, you're going to try and whiff punish this, and I'm just prepared for it. It is that next layer. Look at that wave dash movement from Video Game Show. This guy, he makes it look like art flying across the screen. Big launch, though. VGY going to hold that damage and contest, but this is going to do an absolute ton. And he's able to push his way out of the acid, but now a lot of work. And he has to be careful now, because Josh, what he has to do is just throw acid on the floor. Never mind, sweep. And another sweep. Trip guard. Video games.
I like the idea to sweep him again over there, to be honest. It's like off the jump ins and stuff. Johnny's jump in too is really good, but it's not too hard to consistently low profile that as well.
Looking for the corner position now. Yeah, the important thing isn't really having your opponent fully back to the wall, just having them kind of restricted, really, especially Cage, right? You got to teleport or anything.
Josh has barely gotten a hit on VGY so far, and all this damage has pretty much just come from chip and damage over time from the acid.
Oh, counter hit!
Down half the health bar.
And now he's going to be straight into the damage again. So much of it is ticking down here, Falcon. Staggering that forward 3, doesn't want to overcommit, does not want to give any kind of flawless block window, even though VGY doesn't have the defensive bar, but this is looking pretty good right now for Josh. Oh no, put your foot away, Johnny Cage. Put your foot back. Okay, max damage incoming.
Oh, the late break to challenge the Rising Star.
Oh, so smart,
brilliant stuff. That is what we call presence of mind. And honestly, like, just knowing that he was gonna end in the Rising Star because he ended in the 1-2 when he was not gonna get the pissed off ender, it was really kind of at that point VGY didn't really feel too much risk, right? But even then, it wasn't even the amplified Rising Star. It was just the normal one, which is usually pretty quick on recovery, but Josh challenging it straight away with that wake up down 1 now puts himself into a solid position to try and win grand finals over here, but VGY is still going to have to win this game and win another set.
And here we are. We're in that eternal position. One of the most exciting moments in the grand finals, I think. One game away from either the tournament being over and Josh TQ moving on, getting that first place, or Video Game Joe, the run back is halfway done. If he wins this next game, we're resetting. We're going back into a 3 out of 5. Only the first half comes to a close. And it looks like so far things are going pretty well. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. This has been a really fun day of Mortal Kombat, whether it was Oceanic, whether it was the different EUs. And it's been a really fun one.
Okay, right. Potentially in a very make or break situation for both players, potentially. Over here, the forward check. Josh TQ gonna throw down the acid, choose to play this space. He does have a health deficit, so VGY doesn't need to approach him right now. He is just comfortable sitting there, but that will gradually get chipped away. He still has 7 bullets in the chamber as well.
There's that immediate, I would say, whiff punish with the drop kick, but it definitely wasn't. It was still catching you off guard, though. Now that acid being used at range is to stop Cage from being able to be too comfortable throwing those projectiles. Catches the forward 3 just in case it beats the jump, and it will do. Full combo coming. And now 21%. Not too shabby. As now that acid's actually going to put him into fatal blow distance, which is going to give VGY the potential for a cancel. He wants to get that unbreakable sequence. Walk up, grab, the brave stuff. Acid doing him a favor, to be honest.
He's going to have to be real careful if he chooses to throw a first ball over here, though.
Anti-air!
Oh, the anti-air off it.
Cage your feet! Watch out! The loafers! The loafers! You don't want to touch it, man. They're expensive shoes! Tournament point for Josh TQ. That acid was a thorn in his side, Falcon, I tell you.
Yeah, it definitely was. VGY now. He's going to have to make something happen, as it seems like Josh has just stolen the momentum of this set. VGY has a good position to work with. He's got almost all the meter that he could need.
Now the corner pressure, Video Game Joe. I would say in the driver's seat, but again, with Aaron Black, it takes a command grab. It takes a slide, asking you shall receive to reverse that corner positioning. And now the driver's seat swaps. Dad said it's my turn to drive.
This is a lot of checks right now from Josh, choosing to end that in the low Peacemaker. But a punish on that dive kick, on the drop kick rather, on the recovery, but it failed. Flawless block OS right there, gonna get clipped for it, 25% for his troubles. Oh, the forward 4 whiffing.
Short hop just in case you amplified it. No amp coming out from Josh, who was able to hold on to some of the meter, but the string! 1 round away, Falcon, and we're gonna go into either a reset of the tournament, or we're gonna be finished. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who do you think has it?
Are in this situation again. Over here from the last set as well, where it went down to the last round. Over here in this situation now, it's either going to be the reset or it's going to be the win, as Ketchup mentioned. This is a big, yeah, that's a big hit right there for Josh. VGY was sitting in that acid, taking down during the course of that command grab animation.
I would play that distance game, but it's so hard to do with the grab. Could have been more damage, Josh DQ. That's not the full string rock could have done, but again, hindsight, you know, commentary. Easy for us to see it, but in the heat of the moment, so many different things, especially when it's potentially the end of the tournament, Josh TQ. It would mean so much to him to win this week.
Oh, he was really looking for the KB right there. Wanted it, but gets the back 2-2-2 that wasn't broken.
Right,
VGY now.
1 hit. Oh, the drop kick doesn't work. He's looking for a big finish.
Oh, God. Someone needs to clip that. And just like that.
The forbidden crushing blow landed, but ultimately, Falcon, the tournament still goes to Josh DQ, who I think is going to feel like $1 million after getting a win like that. I know that the last tournament he entered a month ago was a bit disastrous for him. Unfortunate circumstances kept him from reaching the later stages. No need to go into it. It's completely irrelevant now because he got his win today. And I know he is going to feel pretty damn good about that.
That he double eliminated VGY. I don't
I
recall
know, right?
the last time he actually did that, because VGY is Josh's tournament demon. There's no two ways about it. He knows him inside now. He knows how to counterpick him, how to counterplay him, and everything like that. So for something like this to happen, obviously shoutouts to VGY for being an incredibly solid player through and through, but Josh is the one that came out victorious, and I think this is a really good pivotal moment for his character development arc, so to speak.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you, because Josh is a player that has, I remember seeing him, his first ever tournament, Hyper Combo Unchained, was one of our own tournaments that we run here in Leicester. And there was always, he was kind of the talk of the town, because everyone's like, wait, VGY has a brother that plays and he's good as well. And that was kind of it for a while, while Josh is kind of silently grinding. Everyone's like, wait a minute, this Josh guy's actually pretty good. It's not just someone that, helps VGY prepare for tournaments. This player has been able to craft their own name in the MK11 history books, and for good reason. One of the best, if not the best, Iron Blacks out there right now, and has been for a long time. The grind continues, and I'm so glad to see that the talent does indeed run in the family, and I don't think it's going to be the last time we see him in grand finals, to be honest.
Definitely not. I think that there is a long, success-filled road for this dude if he continues to keep up the grind, keep playing, and everything like that. And by the time, we do have things like offlines back and such as well, I would love to see how he continues to stack up against the, basically just the top caliber of players, because we've only seen players like himself, like VGY and stuff, consistently do well and improve over the course of just being online based, primarily in the world, for having the year effectively taken away with offlines. So these guys have just been, putting on an absolute show, made a statement. They were also in your Massive Strike finals, were they the grand finals over there? These brothers have definitely been making waves over here in EU, but that has been all from us about that. Catch up, anything final to add over here on the broadcast before we send it off for the night?
Well, before we do, I'd like to take this final opportunity tonight to thank and shout out PS4 Tournaments, the one-stop shop for competitive Mortal Kombat 11. You can get involved in both the MK11 Pro competition and the MK11 Open Series, which is NA and EU, the Open Series, every single week. Compete.playstation.com. Everything you need to know for competing in online MK11 can be found on the website, and other games too. PlayStation have done a lot for supporting games last year, and still this year, Mortal Kombat, they have given a tremendous amount of support to. And we thank them very much for their continued support. Astro as well. Now, Falcon, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate, to have you on this desk. I'm really glad to have you here. I feel like, we go way back 10 years. MK9 is what got us to meet each other, and now here we are 10 years later, dude. And even then, MK9's almost 10 years old, by the way, as we go into spring. But that is all we have
crazy
time for. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching, the hard-working production team behind the scenes to make these broadcasts possible, the players for sticking it out and giving it their absolute GGs. And, not long to wait until the next one, whether it's North America or other territories. We'll see you there. Same time, same place. My name is Ketchup, joined by Falcon and Mustard, who is off stream, but we love him too. Thank you, much love, and good night.
Jokes, no gimmicks, just combat.
PlayStation. Looking for attention, I don't need the extra tension, cause I'm in the fourth dimension. Trapeze high in suspension. Now don't bother with the haters, cause they all be imitators. Real life manipulators. Get it back up and see you later. I like me for me. I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me. I am who I wanna be. Na 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 na. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else.
Hey guys, Ketchup and Mustard here, and it's time to test your might in the Mortal Kombat 11 Open Series.
Ready to rumble? Power on your PlayStation and head to the Events app.
Filter by type and select a convenient date and time. Boot up MK11 and locate the PS4 Tournaments menu option. Click it to visit a familiar place, the Console Events tab. Sign up and prepare to play.
Once registered, you can view your tournament details and check-in time.
A notification will remind you to tighten your black belt and get over here for your match.
Continue combat in the open qualifiers to close in on the competition.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the tournaments.
PlayStation. Who are you?
I'm your worst nightmare.
Any ring I step into is mine. End of the line.
Then this fight is now personal.
It is exhausting being so perfect.